unyielding gaze on the battlefield. A hero blade, muscles gleaming as he slays a new foe. A warrior's rage storms with every blow. Dash attack, charging the fray, splitting the dark, carving away. A gooner gamer ready for a fight. Fall to the shadows, he is the warrior of light. Dash attack, charging the fray, splitting the dark, carving away. A gooner gamer ready for a fight. Flew to the shadows, he's the warrior of light. Thunder rolls when his spells hit their mark, casting his courage, cutting the dark. When he role plays, he picks Dragonborn. Just don't ask him to play more Dustborn. Unstoppable force, strength pure and divine, sexy and funny and truly sublime. Gaming pride with a heart fierce and true, streaming his glory for all to view. Dash attack, surging like a star, braving the trials, bearing the scars. Hero of gamers, rally or fight, shatter the gloom, a warrior of light.
All right. Hey, everyone. Dash here. How's it going? Well, I'm here tonight with special guest T-shirt historian. How's it going, man?
Hey, hello everybody out there in YouTube land. It's your T-shirted historian coming at you live from Dash Attack Vtuber's stream.
Ooh, I've got a note. Is that it? We got ourselves a new... Oh, that's you. Nice. Thank you. Hey, Michael. How's it going? All right. Welcome to the show. All right. So tonight's show is going to be... we're going to be mostly about Nintendo. We'll probably touch a little bit on Oblivion. And if there's any side topics, we'll probably be tabletop, because that's... that's mainly what you talk about on your channel, right?
Oh, we talk about everything. We're pop culture, but considering that most of us have either writing credits or art credits in various tabletop games, including some of the most popular ones that you already know about.
Yeah. That's
kind of our biggest part of our wheelhouse. Plus, a lot of other pop culture channels don't really talk a lot about TTRPGs, and TTRPGs occupy quite a decent space out there.
I talked a little. I'll occasionally do a D&D video. I covered a lot of the stuff going on, some of the user agreement debacle,
the OSR.
Yeah. Some of the stuff going on with the movie, which I did enjoy. I did end up enjoying, despite being reporting on the director's comments about possibly about how gender roles were going to be portrayed in the movie.
Oh, honestly, all of the D&D movies, and there's 4 of them now.
4?
Yeah,
I only know of 2.
No, there's 4 of them. There was the original one from 2000 with Jeremy Irons, who absolutely chewed the scenery like it was made of chicken McNuggets and hot sauce. There's part 2, which is called Wrath of the Dragon God, that went direct to video. And then there's a third one that was super duper low budget, was a sci-fi only type thing, and it was awful. It was called The Book of Vile Darkness. And then, of course, we got the fourth one, which is this latest movie, which wasn't honestly that bad. It had some likable qualities to it, so I'm not gonna poop all over it.
Yeah, I thought it was a decent action comedy.
Hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get on. So everyone was looking forward to Nintendo Switch 2 up until they found out just like some of the ludicrous pricing, not for the console itself, but for like everything else surrounding the console. And
Hmm.
that has only gotten worse. So I'm going to pull up I have the Best Buy page up right now. I'm going to, all right, yeah, share. Here we go.
Mhm.
Is that up on the screen already?
What?
Yeah, good. That's a lot easier than Talk Studio. I think I'm going back to StreamYards
$500?
for and that's for the Mario Kart bundle.
Well, that's the one everybody's going to want to buy because everybody's going to want to play Mario Kart against each other with their
Yeah,
friends. But
especially since Mario Kart's cheaper if you buy the bundle by like $30, but it's also limited.
uh-huh.
I've also found out that I just found out that GameStop's getting more of the Mario Kart bundle than they are of the one that's just the Switch by itself.
Oh yeah, they probably got some kind of a good deal going on that. So yeah, and it's the more expensive one. So yeah, well, I could see why they would do that.
Yeah, okay, that was probably a GameStop decision then. But it's just and just the pricing is just absolutely ridiculous. Like the amiibo have gone up because of supposedly because of the tariffs. This web camera ludicrously overpriced. The duffel bag kills me. The
Yeah,
Switch
I mean,
carry bag kills me.
yeah, I mean, I'm just to check it against its most popular competitor because Xbox is out of the game now. PlayStation 5 console Slim is $499. So it's almost it's the exact same price. And if you want to get the Pro, it's $699. So it's like $200
Well, the
more.
Pro, I've been against the Pro for a while because like I have a PS5, it plays perfectly fine. Like there was a scarcity thing, and then all of a sudden they come out with the PS5 Pro, and all that money could have been spent producing like some more games.
Yeah, that console desperately needs them, but I think Sony has already decided that the PS5 has already gone through its play life, and so they're concentrating on the 6 now.
That is retarded. I'm not. I'm sorry. It is simply just. It's beyond stupid.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
I
I
only
don't
got it
get
for
it.
16 anyway.
Well, I mean, it's like there weren't even that many games on the PS5, so mostly the only reason to buy it is you were hoping for some new games, but also the backwards compatibility, if I'm right.
It has very good backwards compatibility. I'm not going to lie. Very good backwards compatibility.
But
Like,
I'm just curious. All right, now I got to do a little bit of research here. So I got to find out what a PS4 goes for now, because that I never bought a PS4 because I always thought it was just way too damn expensive. But it has 2 console exclusives I really really want to play, and I've just been biding my time. And now here we go.
would one of them be Bloodborne, perchance?
One of them is Bloodborne. The other one is Fist of the North Star: Lost Paradise. And oh my
Ooh,
god,
nice.
look at that. 165 for a renewed, 189 for a renewed, 179 for a renewed, 190. Wow. That's quite a difference in the price there. I mean, these are all renewed ones. I mean, if you buy a brand new one, it's $400. So,
Yeah. So you can still get a lot out of the PS4. They're still supporting it.
uh-huh.
Like people are still making games for the PS4, and depending how well the Switch does, like Switch 1 could see a longer life cycle.
Mhm.
If the Switch 2 does not go. So I'm gonna try and get it just because I just wanted a bigger Switch. Hey Philip, how's it going?
Well, I don't even own a Switch. because I just don't do a lot of handheld gaming anymore. I'm PC master race. So
Yeah. Well,
and
I have a bunch of consoles for my streaming, so I've got a high-end PC, I've got some retro consoles, and I have a PS5.
Mhm.
So I get a ton of games to play, like a huge backlog for the channel. So like
Mhm.
I'll never run out.
Yeah. I mean, this is kind of that way with PCs too, just because of the fact that all the indie games that are coming out on Steam and GOG
Well,
and
yeah, I didn't
all the
even
other
get
platforms.
into Steam. Like my Steam library is just jam-packed
Uh huh.
from a decade's worth of purchases.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta say that. Oh, what's his name?
Gabe,
Gabe Newell is he's living the nerd's dream. Basically, he's worth $9.5 billion.
God
He doesn't
bless Gabe.
he doesn't have to do shit. He's you know everybody keeps talking about, oh, what about the next Portal and all this. He doesn't have to.
Free. No.
Didn't have to. He didn't have to worry about it. And then after how poor the Back for Blood when it came out was,
Oh yeah, that sucked. Which is really disappointing because I actually liked Evolved. I thought Evolved was very highly underrated, but it came out too freaking early before like isometric games were really like.
mhm.
Yeah,
and everybody kept thinking, that Back for Blood was going to be the sequel to Left 4 Dead 2, and
it sucks compared to like Left 4 Dead or even Evolved for that matter.
and it makes me sad because I paid the premium price on it, and
Same. I played it like once, didn't really go back.
I played it a couple of times, but yeah, it's a kind of a big disappointment. It has some good points to it, but I don't know. I think they were trying way, way, way too hard to lean into that looter shooter stuff, and the game just doesn't work like that.
Yeah. The Left 4 Dead games worked really well because of their simplicity. But what really worked when they did Evolve was like the character interactions and lore.
Mhm.
Like between each match, you'd like learn more about like the background of this universe. And
Well,
all that is kind of gone now because the game died.
well, I mean, look at Left 4 Dead 2. I mean, everybody had a favorite character, mostly Ellis. But I mean, everybody, if you're a Left 4 Dead 2 player, if you were around during that time and played endless matches against each other, there's 2 or 3 quotes that'll pretty much spring to your mind almost immediately from any of the characters. I mean,
I was more of a Nick guy.
see, yeah, Nick was cool too. I usually played Coach or Ellis if I could.
That they were all great characters.
Yeah, that's the main thing, is they were all great characters. And then whenever they brought the Left 4 Dead 1 crew in, it was like, oh, everybody was even more crazy about it. I mean, because everybody wanted to play Bill. But yeah, that was sad. But getting back to the topic at hand. So, okay, Nintendo Switch 2 for that much money.
Yep. And the big controversy is like the launch title prices and these Switch 1 games that are coming with DLC.
Well, the big controversy for me is the fact that they already have a console exclusive with FromSoft, and I'm just like, God damn it.
I know. I was joking. My cousin that only plays Souls games is like, oh my God, he's going to get a Switch 2 and only play it for that, because that's basically what he did with PS4. It's just Bloodborne and Lies of P.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a Souls nut. I love all the Souls games. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. 2. Well, okay, 2 had its moments, but it mostly wasn't very good. But the first one was great. The third one was sublime. And then, of course, we had Elden Ring, which was really great, but then the DLC just kind of made me feel like FromSoft kicked us square in the balls with their Ashes system, because I was like, okay, this is bullshit. But
Okay, here are some of the complaints I have with Switch 2, and it's let's see, I got to go back a bit.
mhm.
Uh, Switch seat shop all. Okay, they should show all the games. Oh, I think these are only the games that are going to be on launch, but Mario Party, the Mario Party port for Switch 2, as well as the Kirby's and the Fallen Kingdom, they're all going to be $80 because they're adding DLC to the new versions. So like you're paying like $20 extra just because of this like DLC that you can't take off in order to get the enhanced version.
But Bravely Default is only $40, and that'll keep.
Oh, but there's a
playing for while.
catch to Bravery Default. It's a fake physical game. It's a key card that lets you download the game.
So they're probably going to do some kind of special edition with like, a statue and a soundtrack and a map and all that bullshit. No?
Nope. It's a game key card, meaning that it's a fake physical. It gives you permission to download the game digitally, and it acts as a key. So it's fake physical media. Square just didn't bother to. Street Fighter is also going to be getting this fake physical media
for $60.
Yeah, it's fake physical media,
and this is for a game that's been out for almost 2 years now.
Well, it comes with it's called Years 1 and 2 Fighters Edition, so it comes with DLC.
Okay, so it comes with DLC, which okay. I mean, I play Street Fighter 6, and I have gotten both years, and frankly, I'm not real jazzed about all the DLC characters they've been dropping. I mean, I was really looking. I was looking forward to Elena, but then I saw her new character design and went, "This is ass."
Oh, Ironcaster says, "I've always been a Nintendo guy. Bought a Wii U and Wii Music. They've made me not want to buy a Nintendo console." And I've been talking to a lot of people that feel this exact same way. People that were going to be day one Switch 2 buyers, flat out aren't getting it. Because my friend Cult Classic Cage is one of them.
Yeah, because they're greedy. That's why you don't want to buy it. It's because Nintendo is greedy. Okay? And the one thing that still hangs over them that pisses me off is the fact that they are still trying to litigate against Palworld, which is a game I really love. And my friends are playing the hell out of it right now. And I've been joining in and playing with it. And we're just having fun with it. And it's still not even in its end game. I mean, they're still dropping content for it. They're not charging for their DLC or anything like that, and it's still a great game, and it's at a good price.
Yeah, I want to dive back into Palworld at some point, but I think it was great. Like I knew about it before it got popular, but then it caught a lot of people by surprise. People that didn't even know it was coming, and I honestly was very happy because hey, competition, maybe now Game Freak can get off their ass and actually not release slop Pokemon games.
Yeah. And that's what it should have done. Rather than Nintendo trying to shut it down, they should have seen it as the challenge that it is and tried to produce a more original Pokemon game that maybe used some of the similar mechanics, because you can't trademark game mechanics. So
well, really, what's killing Pokemon is for one, the Pokemon company itself has just gone completely DEI, off the rails. No, the Pokemon company itself. This is separate from Nintendo because they only license the games. But the Pokemon company itself, they were one of the companies that released a BLM tweet saying we're donating X amount of money to whatchamacallit, So like they hopped on board the virtue, and apparently they have like these like special programs for the special groups. You know the drill.
Yeah,
I don't know how deep it goes, but I think it is deep enough that it's the Japanese side as well.
that's bad because even the Japanese are saying that stuff is killing their games. But I mean,
Well, most Japanese companies are smart enough to know that it's not. And like I think even like privately, at least, I think Capcom and parts of Capcom and Square Enix are going to be weaning off it. I think
I hope
Capcom
so.
is going to. Yeah, I'm not very happy with Capcom because of Dead Rising.
Yeah, that sucked.
Yeah, but with Square Enix, they've always been they've always had like this approach to try and like please like different demographics and different people. It's just that the a lot of this globalization stuff kind of took over. So I think they will be releasing more niche Japanese games.
Well, I mean, not to get political, but if the tariff situation really takes hold, that's probably going to push them to want to make games that please the most amount of people. And it looks like the overwhelming majority of people voted red this time. So they're the people to vote for. But I mean, just to be clear on my end of things, I don't have any issues against LGBTQ
Oh no,
or
not
any
at
of that
all.
stuff. Not at all. I mean, it's like my ex girlfriend is was transgender or is transgender. I say she not
Really?
was. Yeah, she was.
Well,
Or she is.
like I actually just recently started identifying as BI recently, like, but I'm not like, just because like I was just being honest with myself. Like some of the things I'm into, not particularly like the straightest, but I'm also kind of a religious guy, so I was very reluctant to do that, especially with all the social bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, so like, but even before that, I had like gay bi friends. So like,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't a hater either. I just hate all the bullshit pandering and all the infantilization bullshit.
Well, I mean, some of your biggest barometers for a lot of that stuff are other YouTubers like Latina Parfait and Sophie Narwitz, who they themselves don't care for all of the pandering and everything else. They want a good game just like anybody else. They don't want something that's exclusive pandering and badly written just for them. I mean, and those games are not selling, which is good.
Yeah, it is very good. Like the
Yeah.
Dustborns and the
Mhm.
Veilguards, they all
Concords.
need to fail. The
Yeah.
Concords.
Concord, Veilguard, Dustborn. What's this new one? Rosenbloom.
Yeah, that weird '90s VHS game. Ugh.
Yeah, it's basically lesbian simulator '90s.
Yeah, that does not interest me in the slightest.
Yeah, I mean, like, who are these games for?
I mean, I don't mind lesbians in a game like that, but it's just like it's not the right kind of lesbian. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, there's an age thing there that makes it very.
Yeah, it's like freaking high school girls. Yuck.
Yeah, like no, I don't want to see that.
Yeah,
and not only that, but as lesbians go, I guess they're a little bit too realistic.
Oh yeah,
lesbians.
Yeah. Also, so it's not like your cute like anime Yuri or anything like that.
It's not like the prawn movies where you see the pretty ones. But anyway, whatever.
Okay, last piece of bullshit. Well, I'm not sure in the last, but this also okay. So they're reselling Breath of the Wild, an 8-year-old game, for $70, and they're not including the DLC with it.
What? I mean, they're not including the DLC with it?
Yeah. It's and you have to pay to upgrade your copy of Breath of the Wild to the Switch 2 version, $10. Well, I mean, that's not so bad. Like at certain on certain PS5 games, it's free, but like certain games, like the upcoming remaster of Days Gone, like you have to pay for your existing copy to get upgraded. But
Yeah, and the
the
upgrades.
fact that he didn't charge for DLC
Oh well,
is
no, it gets worse than that. I mean, they're not the first ones to do this crap. I mean, I had never.
It's even $80 for Tears of the Kingdom because
Jesus.
they charge 70. Bullshit.
Well, I mean, look at the other stuff that came out. I bought Red Dead Redemption because I had never played it. So I had to get the remastered copy that came on PC, and I think I paid $50 or $40 for it. And, that's kind of high for a game that's like almost 12 years old, or older.
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered sells for $50, or if you buy the deluxe edition, it's $60.
Well, I mean, I was just going to bring that up. I was going to get into that. Like, those editions come with all the DLC from the base game, like the 2 expansion packs, as well as the bases, like the Tower and the Dark Brotherhood base.
Right. Yeah, they do include the extra stuff, but the extra digital content, that's another $10. Gives you a couple of armor sets, several new weapons, some horse armor stuff, and access to the art book and soundtrack.
Apparently, the horse armor is just a reference to a meme that I wasn't really aware about, because apparently they did have horse armor DLC back in the day.
But here's the other thing, too. They have also tacked the points shop onto this new edition. So now they're going to be monetizing the Oblivion Remastered with the point shop. So you're going to have to purchase your mods and all that stuff through the thing. And they have already said that there's not going to be mod support for this.
Well, people are finding ways to mod it anyway.
True. But
yeah, so like there's already a mod that like makes fixes the gender select screen, which that's kind of a controversy for me, seeming as it doesn't really affect the game. If they went in and like removed gender from the entire game, I probably would not get it.
No, I think it does affect one of the quests in there. But here's the thing: if it doesn't matter, then why is it Nexus is banning people and taking down mods that do that?
Because Nexus fucking sucks, and they've proven that time and time again that they are just like they're the woke mod site. Like they enforce everything. They don't, and that's why degen and base mods have flourished, while Nexus is just a joke. People just make these mods on Nexus just to see if Nexus will ban it, and they do every time.
Oh yeah,
it's kind of hilarious.
I'm kind of glad I never put any money into Nexus, but at the same time, there was a time when I used to get all my stuff from Nexus, and I really enjoyed it. And now it's just like, trash mods.
Philip says they allow pedo mods.
Oh,
that's not cool.
No. Okay, I'm gonna have to get these other sites because I don't think I want to support.
Yeah, I don't really mod too much. I think like the most I've mod was probably a better texture pack for Final Fantasy VIII, which a game I don't particularly enjoy anyway.
Well, I mean, I modded extensively for all the Fallout games, Fallout 4 and Fallout New Vegas. I would have loved to. Well, I was modding Fallout 3 until the version compatibility errors stopped me from being able to run it at all anymore.
Ugh.
So that kind of killed that. Funny thing is, the one game I haven't dropped any mods on, and it's the one I play the most these days, is Cyberpunk 2077. And there's a ton of mods for that thing. But I just haven't dropped any mods on it just because I love the game the way it is. That and my PC chugs along running it as it is now. So it's kind of like until I get like some kind of a bigger, more robust machine, I'm a little afraid to throw a whole bunch of stuff on it. You're
All right.
muted.
Oh no, I'm not muted.
Oh.
Oh, I was probably my mouth was probably just moving up. A little bit sensitive. I'm going to be upgrading models soon.
Okay.
I've got a new dash model on the way. It's just taking a little bit longer. In fact, I was told by the rigger that the artist needs to rework some things in order for the rigging to work. So yeah, we'll see. Like that's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. Yeah,
You go.
but I think once it's all done, it's gonna be great. I can't wait to show that off to everyone. But yeah, I'm just looking. Apparently, Switch 2 is already like exceeding demand in Japan, where it's cheaper.
Mm-hmm. So they're basically price gouging us.
Yeah, they are price gouging. They've made two versions. There's the Japanese Switch, which is like cheaper, and then there's the international versions. So like they've basically segregated the global market from the Japanese.
Nintendo is greedy, man. They always have been. I still remember, back the earliest days, the Nintendo consoles, the 8-bit NESs, when they brought them over here, the first thing they did is they made it incompatible with their Famicom systems, so you couldn't import cartridges back and forth unless you had a go-between. But beyond that, every time they released a title, especially something with a license, it effectively locked out any other game manufacturer like TurboGrafx or Sega Genesis from being able to use those titles. And they kept that monopoly locked down for a long time. And one of my biggest examples of that is the Batman game from Sunsoft that came out on Sega Genesis way back in the day. It didn't come in the United States originally because Sunsoft had already made a Batman game for the Nintendo 8-bit. So Sega was too worried about litigation. It wasn't until years after that film released and that game had been out that they brought over a version for the United States. And it was a little more wimpy than the one I played, the Japanese version, but I still have my Japanese copy over in my closet. So.
Is that the one? That's the one based on the first Tim Burton movie, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that we got that game late.
Yeah, you did. There are a lot of games that I actually got that are Japanese over American ones because I modded my Genesis to be able to play all the Japanese games, the Mega Drive games. And some of the other games that did come out on Genesis, such Last Battle in particular.
Well, that's where I support emulation. Like, if they're not going to bring these games over, then you have every right to get fan translation, emulation, and patches. Like, I did that. I hacked my Super Nintendo Mini to be able to play Fire Emblem 4 in English.
Nice. Yeah. Well, the Last Battle, when it released in the United States, had altered sprites considerably. It had a completely different set of character names and a slightly altered storyline. And that is because in Japan, the Last Battle is the Fist of the North Star, which is the, based on the popular anime and manga.
I've seen it.
Yeah. So I have the original Fist of the North Star Mega Drive game, which is way better.
Nice. Yeah, I'm sure like they passed a lot of anime games. Apparently, there was a Space Adventure Cobra game on the Mega Drive. Also, I was looking because I'm kind of a fan of that. That's getting a game.
Yeah.
That's getting a new game in August.
Yeah, that's getting a new side scroller, a Metroidvania. Yeah, no, I have every Space Adventure Cobra. I have all the episodes. I have the OVA. I have the remaster, everything. I love Space Adventure Cobra. And, we lost Buichi Terasawa not so long ago, last year. So
he died just as I was becoming a fan, kind of.
That's sad, but Yeah, his stuff was great. The other titles I wish that they would go ahead and re-release is like Raven Tengu Karasu and Goku Midnight. Actually, they redid Goku Midnight Eye on Blu-ray from our good buddies over at who are those guys? Oh my gosh, Discotech or North Star Media.
Oh yeah,
Discotech.
Discotech. Yeah, that's where I got my Blu-ray.
Yeah, I love Discotech so much. They're
Great
like
store. Great store.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
it's because of them. I used to collect Street Sharks as a kid, but I hadn't seen too many episodes of the show. So I was able to get that entire series from them. That was so great.
Well, see, the cool thing is Discotech redoes a lot of the anime that I grew up with and I enjoyed because my friends out there in YouTube land, let me tell y'all something. T-shirt historian is an old guy. I'm going to be 52 here in a few months. And when I was a kid, we didn't have Blu-ray players, we didn't have DVD players, and manga was not in free trade with the United States. It was kind of an unknown niche, and the only way you could get that stuff is if you knew somebody who, was like stationed in the Air Force over at Misawa, or a Marine at Kadena Air Base in Okinawa, and that was the only way you had access to that stuff. So what would typically happen is somebody would, put a bunch of anime or on VHS tapes, and at the anime conventions, we would be swapping tapes, recording and trading tapes and trying to get our hands on stuff. It wasn't until I want to say mid 90s, early 90s that we started getting regular anime stuff brought into the United States and manga shortly thereafter. And I remember the companies that pioneered all that because it was Pioneer and Streamline Video.
Funimation, 4Kids, they all were very big, essential at bringing anime, making it popular.
Mm-hmm. And Animego was the big one.
Never heard of them.
Animego was the one that we loved the most because Animego is the one who brought us Writing Bean, Maddox 01, and Bubblegum Crisis.
Oh man, I haven't heard of any of those.
Oh my god. Okay. You can get all this stuff from Discotech, and you need to watch it. It's classic. No computers used. This is all hand-drawn animation.
Yeah, I'll check. Bubblegum Crisis sounds cool.
It's very good. Some of it doesn't really hold up to 2025 technology and stuff, but it's still a lot of fun to watch. And they just released Bubblegum Crash, which is the sequel to it, which looks even better.
Nice. So this is the GameStop notice that they're only going to get 30 regular Nintendo Switches and 54 of the Mario Kart bundle. Oh god, it's PS5 and Series X all over again.
Yeah, pretty much.
So if you get one at midnight, do I need to camp outside GameStop or just go in the morning?
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, so my hope is I'm just going to put the pre-order in tonight when it goes up, and then put in my local store, and then just hope that I get one.
I remember the one time I did a midnight release thing, and you wouldn't believe what it was for. Diablo 3.
Diablo 3.
Yeah, when Diablo 3 was about to come out, I did a midnight wait over at the store, waited until midnight, and then they sold me my big copy for almost $100. Took it home, got it loaded up, but I, couldn't actually play it because, the server didn't go live until such and such time. And
yeah, I actually did midnight. I waited outside Best Buy in the cold for the Switch 1 back in 2017. Uh, I don't think that it'll work again this time, with just because of like this. The reason I was probably able to get one on launch day was because Nintendo had lost a lot of ground with the Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
And the Switch One sales didn't really pick up until Smash Brothers, from what I understand.
Yeah, that's. I imagine that's going to be their big, title for the Switch 2 is going to be another Smash Brothers, because that's what everybody likes to
There will
play.
definitely be another Smash Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
That is coming. I know this was supposedly Sakurai's last Smash Brothers, but they are going to come, and I do think it'll probably have a lot of new fighters, and
Oh, yeah.
maybe less than Ultimate, but they'll make it up by having a lot of new ones.
Yeah. Oh, man. They'll license the hell out of characters to come play on that from all the different consoles. It honestly wouldn't shock me to see anything brought into that game, because anything they can make money on, they will.
I was very bummed when Master Chief did not get in Ultimate, and that they went with Sora instead.
Mm-hmm.
It was just too good to be true. I
was
just because I'm such a big Halo fan.
I was glad that the Castlevania roster dropped, though.
Oh yeah, though that was a good addition. I love it, and it was like real Castlevania too, not like the Adi Shankar bootleg.
God, man,
I dropped that. I only lasted 2 seasons on that.
It's just the first 2 seasons are the only good ones. I'm serious. It's like the first 2 seasons are great. I did go ahead and stick it out with 3 and 4 and 5, but
well, I hear the Bloodline is even worse.
Oh God, Bloodline is terrible. Bloodline is bad. If you wanted to get hit in the face with the DEI stick, watch Bloodlines. I'm serious, because it's like, you have all the most ridiculous story arches on that one. They race swap characters, they girl boss, they cuck.
They turned Richter into a crying bitch.
Yes. And then by the time he does get his little superpowers in season 2, he just starts punching everything, not using the whip, so it's no longer Castlevania.
Stupid. Oh, yeah. I also heard that there was other stupid things about the show.
My God.
They had this convoluted thing just so they can do the church bad plot line again that they did from they had this guy working with vampires.
Oh yeah,
did not work. Somehow he thought the revolutionaries were more evil than the fucking vampires, and so that it would be in God's interest to work with the fucking vampires.
Yeah, I don't.
That's retarded.
That was the stupidest damn logic I've ever seen. Not to mention, okay, they say they basically got you to watch season 2 because at the very last episode of season 1, it was kind of like break glass and insert Alucard.
Oh yeah, the Alucard bait. And hopefully he doesn't get booty busted again like he did.
Yeah. He didn't.
That is why I did not watch season 3 when I heard that happened.
Yeah.
My favorite character.
Well, okay, he's an old Dampier, and he's good looking, and
No, I mean,
bored.
I didn't care, oh yeah, well, for one, you shouldn't change the sexuality of a character that isn't yours.
We don't know what sexuality he was anyway.
I don't know. He was probably straight.
It didn't really come up while I was playing, Dracula's Curse in Castlevania 3.
He's too busy being he's got a lot on his plate for romance.
Yeah, it's not like he was hitting on Simon Maria. It wasn't Simon at that point, was it? It was God, Trevor. Which Belmont was it? It was Trevor Belmont at that point. Simon was in the original Castlevania, in Castlevania 2.
Yeah, Simon Belmont. Yeah,
Yeah, and
Alucard
Richter.
and Simon never met.
Yeah, and Rick.
Alucard has only popped up twice in the Castlevania series. I
Yep.
do believe he's
Well, he.
popped up with Trevor, and then like he came back um for Symphony of the Night with his
Uh-huh.
own game.
Yeah, that's right. And that was with Richter Belmont, who had his own game, Rondo of Blood, which I have a copy of that because I had a Japanese chipped PC engine.
Oh, sweet! I had to emulate that.
Yeah. Oh, that game was so good.
It is really good. It's very sick music.
Oh yeah, the soundtrack
Great
is
graphics.
so good, and all the alternate pathways that you can take in the game, and all the super moves you can do, and the fact that there's a whole other hidden
that was
character.
the game that introduced all those like really cool super moves, like the one where the
Uh-huh.
cross comes out of the ground.
Well, not just that, but I mean, it's like you can do like the uppercut and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, there's a
Like,
lot of there's a dash move also that's pretty tricky
uh-huh,
to do.
uh-huh. That was
And
good stuff.
in the uncensored version, so like they censored it on the PS4 version, but you can actually see the werewolf's dick in the fight.
I think I remember that from the TurboGrafx version.
Yeah, they censored it in the newer releases.
Oh wow!
But the app version I played had it. That's how I know it existed.
Actually, my favorite boss in Rondo of Blood was the Minotaur boss because that guy was cool.
Oh, Phil. Yeah, the Minotaur was cool. I particularly like the werewolf because he fought like he was in Street Fighter.
Yeah, and I think that's where they took a lot of their inspiration from, is because fighting games were so hot right then and there. And I was one of the guys who actually owned a Neo Geo at the time too, so I got to play Fatal Fury and all those other games at home on my Neo Geo, and they were expensive as fuck. And but back then, I was working at a game store and I was making enough money to be able to handle it, so I bought them and I played them. Now they've just released Fatal Fury City of Wolves for $60 fucking dollars.
That's the latest one, the latest entry in the series.
Yeah, I desperately would love to play it, but I mean, at $60, it just seems really expensive for an SNK game. I mean, it's a 2D fighter. I mean, I don't know how much innovation they could have come up with to warrant $60, but I mean, at least Street Fighter 6 had a whole story mode and all these other stuff that, kind of made it interesting to buy for $60. And Tekken 8 had all kinds of different modes that made it interesting. But
yeah, and Tekken 8 is pretty jam-packed. I got that when they added the Clive DLC.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really dived too deep into it just because I'm not really good at those types of fighting games.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I love them.
Yeah, I stick with them. Well, I mean, I did like Mortal Kombat's kind of like, I don't know. People only play it for the guest characters now because the guest characters are now cooler than the main cast.
Well, I mean, if I had a chance to play Conan, I think I'd rather play Conan over all the other Mortal Kombat characters because Conan.
The redesigns suck. They botched the lore with the multiverse crap.
And then they gave you, what is it, the ugly chick?
Yeah, they made certain characters uglier. The worst crime was gender bending Sector and Cyrax.
Oh, why would they do that?
Well, because it's an alternate timeline, alternate universe. So, like, hey, they can be different in this timeline.
They can be girls.
That was literally the DEI excuse, was just because, and like Ian Malcolm said, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Mm-hmm. Well, Hollywood and all these other places like that, they're learning their lesson though, because they're not making their money back.
Imagine if they got Vampirella DLC. I could see her being in Mortal Kombat. I could totally see Vampirella in Mortal Kombat.
I could too, but they'd probably cover her up.
Well, they're going more for like the mainstream guest characters from movies.
Mm-hmm.
And TV and streaming shows now. I
don't know. I heard that MK or that Mortal Kombat Aren't they basically just kind of dropping that though?
Well, the DLC pack, which had the gender swapped Sector and Cyrax, it didn't meet Warner Brothers' expectations. Gee, I wonder why.
Uh-huh.
Well, for one, it was too damn expensive. The story mode didn't really like draw anyone because MK1's story, while better than MK11's story, it still wasn't like as great as MK9 or MKX's story.
Mm-hmm. Meantime, here I am, still plugging away on these.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, thanks to Ironcaster, I ended up buying a couple so that I could play some of my old favorites, and then of course I got a couple of cartridges because I still like my retro gaming. My only complaint with these little units is you can't link them to your TV, so you have to play that on the little iStrain screen. But
yeah. So that plays Game Boy games, or is that like?
Oh no, it plays full size arcade games.
Nice.
Yeah. I've got Rostan. I've got 2 of the Splatterhouse games. I've got all the Double Dragon games on the Nintendo and the Game Boy and the arcades. I've got a lot of classic favorites on all those, and there's still lots of cartridges out there I haven't picked up because, well, I got car payments.
Yeah.
But someday maybe. And thank you, Ironcaster, for getting me addicted. Yeah, if only they sold a console Evercade machine. Yeah, Yeah, how much is that, Ironcaster? You gonna buy me one for my birthday? Ooh, can you put that screen up again?
Yeah, so Pirate Nation. Wait, Switch 2 pre-orders have been up in Japan for a few hours, revealing all physical third-party games so far except Cyberpunk 2077 that are not Nintendo Switch 2 editions to be shipped on game key cards. I think these are just the Japanese versions.
Oh, what can I see?
Japan's physical media is getting screwed. Physical media must be doing even worse in Japan then, because they're getting more of these key card warnings.
Yeah, because they got like Suikoden there. There's Wild Hearts S, Bravely Default,
Yakuza 0.
Yeah, Sonic and Knuckles, Street Fighter 6. So, they're getting some good stuff over there.
Yeah, but they won't have physical because these are fake physical games.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's Onimusha up there.
Which one? Oh,
right next to Suikoden. Yeah, I think that's Onimusha, the new one.
Oh yeah, I know a lot of people are very excited for that.
Oh, I am.
So that's getting a Switch 2 edition. Interesting. I might pick that up and break my Capcom boycott.
Oh, are you? I didn't know you were boycotting them.
They fucked my Ace Attorney and my Dead Rising. I am very pissed at Capcom.
You know what I did with Dead Rising? When they brought out Dead Rising and they were trying to sell it, I literally got up on Steam while they were selling it, and I bought the original one for $8.
Good man.
That was my fuck you to Capcom.
Good man. It's the better game.
Yes.
They soyed the fuck out of Dead. That is one of my favorite games. It's just. Did you see the yellow paint?
Yeah, I did.
Egregious. I mean, Carlito is not that hard of fucking boss. It's that simple. It's obvious you're supposed to climb on top of the stores to shoot him.
Well, not only that, but it's just like I went through and saw a list of all the other changes that they made and compared them to the originals, and I was just kind of like, this ain't worth.
Did an excellent video on Procat, whatever his name is, did an excellent video highlighting how much they fucked that up.
Not to mention, I think the original one actually played better, if I recall.
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me. It was a decent that game is also remastered. It was a decent one.
I still have to admit that 3 is still my favorite, but
Dead Rising 3 is underrated.
yeah, I really loved it. I mean, driving around in the cars and squishing lots and lots of zombies is that's always
Yeah,
fun.
people give it crap because, like, it was like the start of the casualization of Dead Rising, but there's still plenty of challenge there. It still had a lot of the absurdity and gore, like,
Oh yeah.
that made the others like so good.
The
Four
Lust
was
boss
when
was hilarious.
the Blue Castle renamed Capcom Vancouver gave up, and that killed the studio.
Uh-huh. I remember that
Yeah, Dead
that
Rising
game
4
ruined it.
was really bad.
Uh-huh.
Really, really bad. Okay, we got Packer Girl.
Oh.
Hopefully Nintendo Switch 2 doesn't suffer the supply issues that Wii U. Oh yeah, this is a CEO of Nintendo apologizing because they didn't make enough Switch 2s in Japan.
Yeah, I remember whenever they first announced that they were canceling all the pre-orders and they were price hiking it, everybody thought it was because of the tariffs, and that turned out to be not the case at all. I think even Nintendo actually came out and said, "No, it's not because of the tariffs.
Yeah.
We were well aware of this. All of our pricing models were put in place well before all that stuff, but
No,
this
they
is
just
because of a
blame
different reason."
the tariffs on the canceling pre-orders and raising up accessory prices. That's
Mhm.
what they did. But the console itself didn't go up. Yeah, it was just them being greedy. But it was amazing, like seeing all these memes of saying like wishing Trump had gotten done in at Butler just so they could get a cheaper Nintendo Switch.
I know, man. I
It
mean,
was crazy.
you know, whether I voted for Trump or not is
Oh,
not
I'm not
a
going to
matter
ask you that. I
yeah,
won't ask
it's
you that.
no, that's not even the point. I mean, the deal is like whether I voted for him or not, whether you voted for him or not, whether anybody voted for him or not at this point is a moot point. The
You just
point
don't
is,
wish death on people.
well, that and the fact that, like it or not, he's the president of the United States, and to wish for failure or death or anything else on the leader of your people is just, I mean, it's like shooting yourself in the foot. I don't get it. It's like, okay, he's in power now. Okay, I get it. You don't like it, but you better pray he succeeds. You better pray that he does the right thing. You better pray that everything is good with him. Because as he goes, so goes the nation.
Yeah, I think like Trump hate in 2025. It's just like I'm glad like things seem to be less like things were very extreme his first go around, and
Mhm.
things are a little bit more mellow this time, which is nice. I think it's because like he won so big.
Well, that and the fact that, the, you know, folks who, started pushing all the DEI issues and everything else started infiltrating all the other stuff that people liked. I mean, first they hit comic books and they destroyed comic books. Then they started destroying films and streaming services. And then they finally got to video games. And when they got to video games, people underestimate how popular video games are and how deep the player base is and how many billions of dollars the video game industry is worth. So when that happened, you woke up the sleeping giant because all the damn video gamers, like myself and others, who were sick of paying $80 and $90 for crap, we finally got up and went to the polls and said, enough is enough. We need to put this shit out of its misery before it goes any further. So,
Yeah. I gotta find let's see, I don't have I normally let's see, I bet let's see if Bounding's got any good articles about Switch 2. Oh,
yeah,
here's something.
basement ogre.
As Horse Armor returns. No, yeah, we know. It's- okay, this is just about the pre-orders. I should share the screen. Pre-orders, Gura. Yeah, what's up with Gura leaving? Not sure if you follow like the mainstream VTubers.
I really don't.
Me either.
I mean, some of them are pretty fun, and I like to watch them now and again, but you know.
Yeah.
But I don't really watch any particular VTubers anyway. I mean, it's just I mean, you know, people are always kind of like, well, why would you watch somebody playing a game when you could play it yourself? And so I'm firmly in the camp of I'd rather play it for myself.
Yeah, I was like the same way. Like I only like watch someone stream if it's like someone I like.
I only watch a streamer play a game if it's a game that is pretty hotly contested as to whether it's good or not. Prime example, Last of Us 2. Was really on the fence about it. Wasn't sure if I wanted to try it out or anything like that. Not to mention the fact that it was on PlayStation, so I couldn't play it anyway. I had to wait until it came to PC, but I followed the discourse around it, and I watched players like Mauler playing it, and technically, it's a good game. It has good combat systems and everything else, so that's not an issue. But the storyline,
nihilistic story.
yeah, the storyline is dog shit, man, and that's made even worse by the series here in season 2 deciding to follow in the footsteps of the game and kill Joel off in episode 2, and I'm just like, did you guys learn nothing from the backlash from the game?
Yeah. How is that? I heard some people that didn't play the game are actually very surprised. I don't know how they didn't hear the spoiler.
I mean, you know, Grace Randolph herself took to social media and she was like, I didn't like episode 2 because Abby wasn't that cruel in the game. And I'm like, you're talking about the giant chick who shot Joel in the leg, had it tourniqueted, and then slowly beat him to death with a golf club. That wasn't cruel? Yeah. But she said that she's going to stop watching it.
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, if you lost Grace Randolph, but, you know, Grace Randolph doesn't really have, like, the stomach for a lot of...
No.
Like, no, she would not handle a Call of Duty lobby.
No,
so I don't think she can handle The Last of Us.
Well, that's the thing, too. It's like, I guess from season 1's offering, you know, they were kind of trying to include those audiences. And definitely from episode 1 of season 2, they were also trying to pull in more of those audiences. And then to drop the bomb like that is just kind of like, wow. We'll see how many viewers you have left after this one.
Okay, let's see if Park Place has got any switch to stuff. Okay, now it's just Oblivion.
That's the big news right now.
Oblivion. Yeah, well, I mean, like it's done gangbusters. I'll even let's go to Steam database.
Yeah, I don't know what the numbers look like today, but
they're big. They are super big. I just did a video, but my video today was about it. Oh my god! I think they might have. It went up again 4 minutes ago.
I get paid in a couple of days, and if I've got a little bit of extra money after bills, I may end up getting it myself.
Oh, I want it so bad. I'm still low-key hoping someone gives it to me, but considering how much money it is, it's probably not going to happen. I know.
Yeah. That was my problem too. Is like I don't think anybody will buy this game for me. Just like nobody wanted to buy me a copy of Assassin's Creed Shadows. I said, guys, I will play this and critique it on stream if somebody wants to buy it for me, but nobody did.
Yeah, same. Like, you know, I honestly would have given Shadows a try, but like the hype is kind of down. I'll get it when it's worth like pennies, and I'll just play as the girl.
Yeah, just 6 years down the line, you'll be able to buy it for next to nothing if Ubisoft is still around.
I still haven't played Syndicate, so I could just play that.
I didn't get through Syndicate because I didn't enjoy it, but I did finish Odyssey. I did finish Origins. I started on Odyssey, but I didn't finish it, and I'm kind of somewhere in the middle of Valhalla because I'm really enjoying Valhalla.
I haven't finished an Assassin's Creed game since Black Flag. Like, all the ones I've tried to like the RPG ones, like just don't really seem to be for me because I just like old school Assassin's Creed. I just feel like they've really like abandoned the lore.
They did. They pretty much just threw the lore out the window after
Desmond.
what was his name? Desmond died. So
Yeah. That was always so cool. It was so interconnected and
yeah, nobody cares now. Now it's it's like Assassin's Creed Valhalla had a female protagonist in the real world with another female protagonist helping her out, and they were basically playing the Vikings. And I have no idea about AC Shadows. I haven't heard anything about any of the world at all.
From I saw some screenshots of like these two computer programs fighting with each other in the modern day stuff. So like the Animus stuff is just like completely detached. Like I don't know. It sounded like they were building something new with this Minerva character. Like after Desmond died, like there was going to be like a new apocalypse or a new like plan.
Well, they need a new something because the direction they're going is even going to get even worse because now they've already announced, oh, they've got another Assassin's Creed coming, and this one, it's going to be a witch.
Fucking that, because when I think of Assassin's Creed, I think of witchcraft. Like, no, that's not Assassin's Creed. Like Assassin's Creed was always like science fiction. Like it had science fiction elements to it. It wasn't like maybe semi-fantasy, but like no, like it was still a little bit more grounded.
Yeah, well, I'm betting anything when they bring this new one out, she's going to be able to have some spell powers or something that, give her an edge. So,
I mean, the only time that was okay was in the King Washington DLC for 3 because that whole sequence is an acid trip.
And yeah, and then in Odyssey, it would have been okay because you already were facing off with mythical monsters like the Medusa and the Minotaur. So
yeah, that's still crazy that like apparently you also fight Anubis in Origins. That is. Oh, did you see that clip of like literally the bad guy from Final Fantasy 15 shows up in Origins?
No.
Yeah. Oh, I got to show you this. It is like bizarre. So apparently they did like a collaboration or something.
Philip, I'm sorry you're excited for AC Hex. If it's still being done by the exact same studio that did AC Shadows, I dare say you're in for a lot of disappointment.
They should just get the Mirage Studio to do all Assassin's Creed games from now on. Yeah, so So apparently this is a scene you can unlock in AC Shadows where literally the bad guy from Final Fantasy 15 shows up with Bahamut. What the hell?
Oh my.
And nobody saw this.
I still have Origins, so now I'm going to have to find this fight to unlock it.
I think you get like a special item if you unlock this scene.
I would hope so.
That looks like a Final Fantasy weapon.
Totally.
And that is a sick Anubis hat.
I think that's in Tomb of the Pharaohs or whatever, Curse of the Pharaohs, the DLC that was in Origins, which I haven't gone through yet, but I will.
Oh yeah.
But I think AC really started losing its way whenever they started the online stores and basically, you know,
The
getting you to
microtransactions. They started that
microtransaction you.
during they started that in Unity.
Hmm. And then of course you had to pay to get the better weapons and gear, and in
Uh
Odyssey it was XP. Yeah.
that is like microtransactions in a paid single player game is
Hmm.
disgusting.
Hmm.
Oh man, I hope Nintendo doesn't start doing that next.
Oh,
Oh, I didn't say anything, I swear.
you know they're going to.
Oh man. Oh,
Everything is going that way. Um, I mean,
it's so dystopian. Yeah, you were saying?
Fatal Fury, City of Wolves has already announced seasonal DLC where they're going to drop new characters in, and I'm just kind of like, there was a time when they shipped games with every character already unlocked, and then they usually had like hidden characters to make it more fun. Like I remember playing Fatal Fury Special on my Neo Geo, and the very first time I ran into Ryo Sakazaki as the secret end boss, I just about shit my pants because I was just like, "Oh my god, I didn't know this was in here." You know, uh,
You
not
can't
to
play
mention,
it on console anymore? It was like I guess it was a limited time event, I guess. Damn.
oh,
That sucks.
that sucks. Well, so much for my dreams of seeing that scene. Thank you, Square Enix.
Uh
I don't get that. I
it's
mean,
so funny is I bet you could still get the Ezio costumes if you buy the PC version of Final Fantasy 13 too.
I kind of wonder if they've ever unlocked those weapons for purchase on the store.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past them just because it would be a way for them to continue to make money off of it, even if you can't do the
The scene.
scene.
Oh, I'm talking. Oh, I'm talking.
Oh,
I get it. Oh, for
okay.
okay. So like Assassin's Creed's portion of the collaboration on 15. I
Hmm.
see.
Okay.
Okay, so hey, there's still hope. T-shirt. You can still
Mhm.
get that cool scene.
I can now. I just need time to sit down and refamiliarize with myself in the game, and then find out where it is.
Yeah. I know if I ever give AC Origins another chance, like just go into it, don't play it like an Assassin's Creed game. Because that's I think what turns me off is because I keep thinking of like old Creed. Because I was there from the very beginning when this
Yeah.
franchise first started.
I didn't play the first Assassin's Creed because everything I heard about it was like not good, but I do have part 2 and I love
Well,
Ezio.
part two like improved a lot of different things. Part one was very repetitive. Altair was like your typical like edgelord protagonist guy from the 2000s,
Uh-huh.
and Ezio kind of like had a lot more flair to him.
Yeah. Everybody liked Ezio the best, I think.
Yeah, though I like Edward Kenway, even though he
Yeah.
wasn't really an assassin. He's still a great character.
Uh-huh. People did have liked Kenway too, but I think most of the people like Kenway because of, the how good that ship to ship combat and everything
Yeah.
was.
Oh, he's got some really sick execution skills with that pistol.
Ah. And I remember everybody was, talking about like, hey, Ubisoft, how come this old game had better pirate ship play than Skull and Bones?
Oh man, I watched a video about the development history of Skull and Bones. Oh, Patrick says on PC you can still get the costumes for the collab in 15, but I think you can mod in the quest.
Ah, good old
Nice.
PC Master Race.
Philip says AC. Odyssey and Valhalla should have been their own IPs instead of part of Assassin's Creed?
I
Probably.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that because they really feel removed from AC. And actually, I hate to say it, but so does Shadows because, well, I mean, just look at it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Looks
neither one of those
closer.
characters.
It looks closer to Assassin's Creed than some of the more recent ones, though.
Well, it's the most recent one, and you would have thought it would have been like a license to print money. Hey, we have an Assassin's Creed set in Japan,
Well, the
and
thing that makes it not Assassin's Creed so much is the whole Yusuke thing. Just his gameplay style in particular is just so anti-Assassin's Creed.
yeah, it is. But I mean, even nowadays, not that great because it's like she breaks so many historical canons. I mean, she uses shuriken incorrectly. She's a woman who dresses like an assassin on the streets and nobody says jack shit to her. She wears a fucking katana over her back and people aren't, you know, at the least bit worried about her. I mean, you know,
I mean, look
yeah,
how much they screwed up the historical parts with just the
uh-huh.
trailer. Ubisoft used to be very, very meticulous with the history, except
Yeah.
for that goof up with the crossbow. But
But well,
other
yeah,
than
it's like,
that,
well, no, it's at one point, several years ago, Notre Dame Cathedral caught on fire, right? And
yeah,
part of it was destroyed. Well, they actually went to Ubisoft because Ubisoft had very meticulously mapped out the inside of Notre Dame Cathedral in order to make Assassin's Creed Unity. So they literally used plans from the video game company in order to rebuild the structure of the
I
actual
heard
cathedral.
about this. Yes,
Uh-huh.
yes, I heard about this. And I know it just like that is the level of detail they
Mm-hmm.
went to, and the fact that they copped out on Japan, like even Mirage, like there are female like scholars in Baghdad, and I don't think like the Middle East was. I mean, there's still kind of like like women in like big authority places in the Middle East, like there's like I don't know, like people in Saudi Arabia can't even drive cars.
I'm sure certain
Well,
people could drive their cars there because they
I
got
mean,
some rich sheiks there.
if I'm being ignorant right now, like anyone, feel free to like call me out on anything. Just, but I don't know. It just didn't seem like that was like pretty historically accurate. But other than that, I think Mirage was more of what I'm looking forward in a AC in terms of gameplay because there is no leveling system and it is like has more callbacks to the original with the bureaus. Like it really feels like an homage to old school Assassin's Creed.
Mirage was basically intended to be a DLC for Valhalla, and then they just ended up just pushing it into its own game because they figured we could milk this. So they did. I didn't play it, um,
Interesting.
but I mean, it's like the biggest thing that gets me about Shadows is the fact that Yasuke runs around wearing Yoroi, which is full field combat armor, like the kind of shit that you would wear in war, and people aren't running from him in terror because I've said this many times before. It's like if a dude showed up at your local shopping mall or card store or grocery store or something like that, and he was decked out in full tactical armament, including carrying an M4 and a sidearm and everything. How fast do you think that place would clear out?
I mean, I saw Arch play like the opening, and like, doesn't like Yusuke like attack a whole like innocent village like for Obunaga during like the opening scene of the game?
I have no idea. I haven't really even watched that much of it.
Oh yeah, like
I'm embarrassed that the game exists.
I know like the first thing you see him like the gang sold to Obunaga from the Jesuits that brought him over.
Mm-hmm.
And then like Obunaga taking like such fascination, and then like there's a time skip, and then he's like he's butchering like people for him in samurai armor.
Yeah, which is like, no, that didn't happen. I mean, I
As
okay.
far
I'm
as
just
actual history goes, he was probably more like a bodyguard and a retainer.
no. He was a curiosity, nothing more.
Yeah, I don't think Obunaga thought as highly of him as like, these other like people want to like say. Like there's a lot of embellishing that has gone in to make Yosuke more interesting.
We
But
was
really,
samurai.
did you play Yosuke Sim? Great game.
Yeah, I heard that one was really funny. I
It
actually got
is
to
really
watch.
funny. You get to fight an army of Johnny Somalis.
Oh my god. I watched Shohei Kondo play it. So and then he's an actual Japanese guy. He's a Japanese streamer and everything. So
Oh yeah, like that guy. He's gotten like real famous after Shadows. I know him.
oh yeah, and it's what galls me the worst is the fact that AC Shadows had the perfect template to follow because Ghost of Tsushima at this point has already been out for several years. All they had to do was look at Ghost of Tsushima and say, what made this game good? All we have to do is the same thing that made this game good, and then put our Assassin's Creed spin on it, and we are going to have a 10 out of 10 game.
Yeah, I definitely I didn't even finish Tsushima. So like, if Ghost of Yotai like turns out to be as bad as it's looking like it might be,
It's going to be bad.
well, it's just the actress they have attached is crap. And
Mhm.
and it seems like a lot of the people that made the first game are of course no longer working there.
Mhm.
So like there's a lot of bad writing on the wall for that game.
Yeah, there is.
My tea leaves are giving me bad vibes, but I like it when my tea leaves are wrong.
Mhm. Yeah, Patrick is right. He says Ghost of Yotai is going to be bad because they're doing everything Assassin's Creed Shadows is doing, hiring consultants and stuff. Yeah, that's exactly what's going
Oh,
to
of
happen.
course. I thought Sony said they were going to do consultants anymore, or like
Yeah.
supposedly, according to my friend Master the TDS.
Hmm. Oh, I like him. He's a good guy. I've
Yeah, he's
streamed
been
with
on
him
the
once.
channel. We follow each other.
That's cool. I'm hoping to get him on my show eventually at some point. Him and Raven.
I can help
They're-
you. I can help you get him on.
Oh, I've talked to him. So it's just a matter of timing because he doesn't stream on Saturdays because it's the
Yeah,
Sabbath.
religious reasons. Yes.
So but I'm hoping we'll get him on a Tuesday. So
Yeah, him and his wife are very lovely. I had them
mhm.
on not too long ago.
Yeah, I streamed with them when they were on Snowdub's channel, so that was really fun.
Oh, cool.
Which, if you haven't been on Snowdub's channel, you need to go get on with him just because he's hilarious. Once you start talking to the puppets, you'll want to build your own puppet and run it.
Oh yeah, well I've been on like the Mech Pit with Snowdub, but
Oh, there you go.
yeah, so like yeah, like if Snowdub wants to come on or if he wants to have me on, I'd be open to going.
Okay, well, if you want me to put in a good word for you, I can. But you
Yeah,
already know him, so
yeah.
he's
I
supposed to
don't.
be a member of my channel, but he's always busy with Drunk 3PO. So
Oh man, what a guy to get snubbed to.
yeah, no kidding. I like Drunk 3PO though. I've
I
streamed
do
with him. He's
too.
cool.
I've always liked Jay. I've always liked even when I lost interest with like geeks and gamers. I've always liked him. Like he's hard not to like.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I did get to stream with Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers.
Did you?
Yeah. He is a super nice guy.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
seems like it. Like it's just like I got bored of the content. You
mhm.
know,
Yeah.
I'm sure he's a great guy. I know he's a father. Like
Mhm.
and I know like he was legitimately burned out by a lot of the stuff happening with Star Wars and everything. I feel it because I was there with them, and that's when I found his channel.
Yeah.
You could say I was radicalized by the Last Jedi, and that would be
Yeah.
pretty accurate.
A lot of us were. And the funny thing is when I started feeling the anger rising up, the first person who I watched and who got me interested in it was Jay Longbone.
Jay
She was
Longbow.
because she was talking about the Batwoman series and how bad that was. And that led me to Nerdrotic. And from there, it's just like the whole world kind of blew up. And, I got in good with Fat Steven Seagal. And
Oh yeah,
And-
great guy.
yeah,
I used to play Fortnite with him.
me too.
Oh, I
Yeah.
think maybe we played together once.
Probably
then.
way back in the day.
Wow.
Yeah, it's YouTube is the community's not that big, really. Oh man, the other the guy I really want to stream with is Dr. Disaster because he's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I remember when he started out small. His channel's blown up like really
Yes.
big.
His channel's huge now.
Yeah.
There's
I wouldn't
so
mind
many
collabing
guys.
with him.
Yeah, I'd like to collab with Kyle too because he's a cool guy. You don't know who that is, do you?
Oh, I know about the spaceship Gab. I don't think I've heard of Kyle.
Oh my god. Okay, let me see if I can find a KL video for you because I'm.
Okay, yeah, we could react to it.
Yeah, I think I keep one of them. And this is an older one, but oh yeah, no, here's a couple. So
All right, show it on screen.
okay, here you go.
Okay.
Asian decapitator Yasuge, but African
I know him.
zombies not okay. Baldur's Gate, Dragon Age of Nudity, Sony may celebrate censored titty, gritty, dark, sexy,
Yeah, I've interacted
mature,
with him.
not with a high.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've interacted
love this
with
man.
him. He used to follow me.
Oh well, we still follow each other. We love this guy.
Oh yeah, he's really funny. Very good songwriter.
Yeah, his raps are hilarious. No, I love Kyle so much. And there's other guys I like too, like Echo Chamberlain. I absolutely adore his stuff because he's so insightful. And Robot Head is really good.
No, I haven't watched Robot Head in a while.
He's funny
funny.
still. Yeah. There's some. I mean, it's so crazy. It's like the golden age of YouTube because everybody's so checked out of regular media and they're so burned out on it. And you got 5 billion streaming services and they all charging an arm and a leg now, and the
they have
shows
nothing
aren't
to
getting much
watch.
better. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you got nothing to watch. Did you know? And I've told this on more than one occasion. Most of my film library that I have purchased over the last 6 years, has been nothing but 70s, 80s, and 90s movies.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, because there's nothing new out there that's worth watching.
Occasionally, you'll get a good movie. Like, do you ever see Black Phone?
No, I don't guess so.
With Ethan Hawke, it's really good.
Huh.
Yeah, it's very touchy subject matter with child abduction, but it's a very good like thriller, horror, supernatural movie.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, I was lucky to see that one in theaters. I quite enjoyed it.
But how does that hold up?
If horror is your cup of tea.
Well, I was about to say, like, how does that hold up to like Extreme Prejudice with Nick Nolte or Angel or because these are like classic stuff. It's like the biggest thing I collect is Charles Bronson films.
Ah,
Because
cool.
Bronson is my dude, man. He was like a legit badass. He hated James Garner, but the dude was like a legitimately tough sumbitch. I got a phone call. Hold on, let me mute for that.
All right. Well, no t-shirts on the phone. I'll see if I can find more switch to news.
All right, there we go.
Oh, wait. I have a topic we can talk about.
Oh.
So did you hear? Apparently, there was a actual sexual assault scene in Andor.
I heard that, yeah. And then the director came out and said, we're all a product of ape. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Look,
I caught
I know the Shmi Skywalker stuff, like fans have theorized, and I actually do subscribe to the theory that she probably got
Mhm.
interspecies gang banged by
Yeah.
the Sand People. It was never explicitly stated because the movie's PG.
Right. It kind of didn't have to be. I mean, the implication was there. It's like, you know.
Yeah, she was all bruised and everything. She died.
Mhm. So,
So yeah, but so like I don't know. I just don't want to see Star Wars like even like if it's just a spin-off go to Game of Thrones.
well, I've said this before. It's like Star Wars was never really for kids. I mean, the very first Star Wars movie, what did you have? You had like the charred, purplish husk corpses of Baru and Owen.
Yeah.
You had, Ponda Baba getting his arm chopped off. You had Greedo getting shot, by Han Solo first. It wasn't a series for kids, and I don't care what anybody tries to bullshit you about. It wasn't for kids. Empire Strikes Back had so
It's
much
always
pathos.
Star Wars has always had like this middle ground where it's kind of like has an appeal to both adults and kids, and
Mhm.
especially like older teenagers. Like I was like I'm a prequel baby. I grew up with the
Ah,
prequels, and
the
big
original.
prequel defender.
I
And yeah, you're probably like the opposite.
Yeah, I saw the original in 1977 on the drive-in movie theater screen, and as a 4-year-old, I loved Star Wars. And when Empire Strikes Back came out, and I was just a little bit older, I hated it. I thought it was so horrible. But
Yeah,
then,
Empire's not my favorite either.
well, just hear me out before you say that. So then, part 3 came out, and it had all the Ewoks and all that crap. And I'm still young. I'm still like in middle school, and I loved it. And then I got a little bit older. I went back and watched them again, and I realized, oh, Empire was actually the best film for multiple reasons.
It
You know?
definitely had a lot of expansion on the lore.
Well, it had a lot of expansion on the lore, but it also had like an absolute metric ton of pathos because you cared about those characters in Empire Strikes Back. So seeing Han Solo get tortured, or seeing C-3PO get blown apart, or seeing Chewbacca, being hurt, or Luke getting his hand cut off and having the shit beat out of him by Darth Vader. All that stuff impacted you because you loved those characters. You cared about them. You were genuinely afraid for what was going to happen to them. So
Yeah.
that's when I realized why that is such the best Star Wars. That's why so many original Star Wars fans will point at that one and say that one is the best.
I never really thought of it that way.
Because you got to remember, at the time, all we had was Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back, and Star Wars was, even though it had some dark moments here and there, it was mostly kind of light and fantastic and heroic, and it seemed like the good guys were almost invulnerable. Almost. I mean, except of course for Obi-Wan getting killed, and of course, all the guys in the X-Wings getting killed, and Alderaan getting destroyed. But the heroes were still heroic.
Yeah, and I know like a lot of the like older fans, like we had this, up until like the sequel trilogy ruined everything. Like,
Yes.
like the prequels, like, there was always like a debate between our generations about the merits of the prequels. I personally enjoy them. I can understand why people who saw the original trilogy first growing up don't particularly like them. They do a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm.
They did add like stuff to the lore that like maybe didn't really align with people's head canon. But
Well, I mean, okay. like from my perspective, okay, if you grew up and you watched Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi, Luke is the undisputed hero of the whole series because
Yeah.
you watch his growth from like a complete helpless, almost novice to a Jedi master over the course of 3 films, and you find out about his family and more of his history and everything, and it's so beautiful. And then they bring out episode 1, and Anakin is a little bitty kid, and he's already able to put droids back together, and he can fly pod racers, and he's taken a ship into space and already blown up a giant spacecraft like the Death Star, and I'm just kind of like, can you imagine a father-son discussion between Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker? Luke's like, I blew up the Death Star. Really? Well, back when I was 6, I blew up something similar.
Well, no, the Death Star was way more impressive than that little dinky Trade Federation ship.
Yeah, but he was 6.
He didn't know what the hell he was doing.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I mean,
you gotta admit, R2 had to have been helping out a little bit. Like,
I mean,
not to take any credit from like Anakin, but like, still, like, he got in that thing like almost on accident. He was trying to hide.
I know, but I mean, it's still just the ridiculousness of the whole situation,
Yeah, true.
And then, of course, there was the second film and the third film, and the third film was really good.
I love the third film. That's my favorite. I was almost tempted to go see it again for the re-release, but asked my cousin. He says he has Disney Plus, so he didn't. It's not the same though. It's theater experience, man.
That is something that made me sad because the third one was the only one I never saw in the theater because by that point I was so disgusted after the second one.
Oh, so wow. You could see it unless like you have any reservations about giving Disney money, then but you can technically see it in the theater again now this week.
Well, I bought it on DVD a long time ago just so I could see what happened because I wanted to see how it finished out, and I was like, oh my gosh, this would have been so much better had I seen it in the theater because the Order 66 scene alone was just like, amazing. Damn.
There's a lot of like scenes in that movie that just really go hard. Just like the arrest scene when they go into Palpatine's office and then just
he just wipes the floor with them.
Oh yeah, so cool. He's scary.
This is what pissed me off about the sequel series or about the prequel series. So Lucas has been out of filmmaking for so long that he apparently has forgotten how to make films and how to cut down a story because he didn't have his wife there to trim it for him. And obviously everybody who was in that studio with him didn't have the balls to say anything against him. So they just kind of nodded and went along with all the bullshit that he did. But your first movie spent so much time hyping up baby Anakin and just boring us to death with all this Trade Federation bullshit when it should have been pushing the narrative along. And then so we got to the second film, which is like just one big, huge romance adventure type thing. It did push the narrative forward a little bit more, but not enough. We mostly just wasted time with that. Then we got to the third film, and the third film is what I call 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag. Because that third film should have been 2 parts. 2 2-hour films. And it would have been great.
Yeah, I'm with you, Iron. I mean, I get it. Like, there is definitely problems. Like, I actually, when I first saw Attack of the Clones, I hated it, but like, I really hadn't followed the story. Like, I was still very new to Star Wars. But then, like, there are still parts of Attack of the Clones I really do love. I love Jango Fett. I love the Kaminoans. I love Geonosis. It's just structurally the film. It has some great set pieces and some, like Jango, the Cross the Stars is like probably one of the best like songs, like not non-battle songs John Williams has ever composed.
Yeah, but I mean, this is the thing. The Fets have all been just way overhyped. Okay, and here's what I'm saying. You first see Boba Fett in Empire Strikes Back. He really doesn't do anything other than look badass. And the deal is, he got so much hype because at the time, Kenner was selling the secret Boba Fett action figure that you could only get if you sent in like 4 UPC purchase codes from your Kenner toys, right? And at that time, that particular Boba Fett that they showed on the package was a prototype that was designed to shoot that missile off of his back. Well, then all the bullshit about, kids swallowing the missiles and all that stuff came out. And so Kenner said, no, we're not going to do that. And they eventually just released the Boba Fett figure, which, of course, I scarfed up immediately once I saw it in the store. But I kept wondering, how come his little missile's not firing? So I was pretty disappointed. But the deal is, it's like, okay, Boba Fett just looked visually cool in Empire Strikes Back, but he didn't really do anything. And then we got to the third film, Return of the Jedi, where Boba Fett actually starts doing some stuff, and they basically turned him into a cartoon character because, he got kicked into a Sarlacc pit and disposed of pretty quick.
Joke about it to this day, but still not as bad as how they treated Boba in his own Disney Plus series.
Oh, no kidding. But see, that's the thing that gets me is like, Boba was so overhyped, but everybody just loved him because he looked so cool. And so then when we get to Jango Fett, I thought, well, okay, this guy's going to be like some kind of super badass. And it's kind of like, he really wasn't. I mean, he was so insignificant compared to an actual Jedi in physical combat. I mean, like Mace Windu just literally just kind of like ran by him and decapitated him, and that was it.
I mean, he actually he killed a Jedi. He killed a Jedi in that scene.
Yeah, but I mean, he got lucky. That's all I can think of, because he was really pretty downplayed. I mean, and that's what I'm saying. It's like all the Fets really weren't all that great if you think about it. Just in terms of body count and what they could do. And then, of course, the Boba Fett show was just, oh my God, no. But you know what? I was like everybody else. I got super pumped up when The Mandalorian came out. And that first season, I loved the shit out of it. I love the
first 2 seasons so much.
Yeah.
It's just the whole fucking Gina thing just ruined that entire thing for me. And Patrick, to answer your question, I don't really care about the Order 66 retcon. Like, I'm fine either way with them just following orders or and stuff like that. Like, I do like how they humanize the clones in the Clone Wars series, but and like the brainwashing like programming kind of like explains why they were able to like turn on the Jedi so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But so like, I really think that was really like the only way, like the whole chip thing, like, yeah, it's a retcon, but like it does explain like some things on like how all the clones followed their orders.
Mm-hmm.
How they were all able to follow their orders. Like they would have had to, like the Kanowans even said that they're like programmed from birth to suppress their free will.
Mm-hmm. The sad thing is, though, the Mandalorian really kind of kicked him in the teeth in his own show.
Oh, yeah. I got completely sidestepped for Bo-Katan in pure Kennedy fashion. Like, you could see, like, her taking the reins of the show.
Well, I mean...
done Gina out.
Yeah, they'd gotten rid of Gina in season 2, but what... I admit, I was excited when Bo-Katan showed up, because I thought, oh, this is so cool. I got even more excited when Ahsoka showed up.
That was all really good. I still like Ahsoka as a character. I'm really hoping they don't like that. This forced shipping they're doing with her and Sabine is terrible.
It is. And then, but this is what gets me. The final episode of season 2, you're watching, Din Djarin, what's his name? Is that it right?
Din Djarin.
Yeah. He's struggling, just mightily against even one of those, Dark Force troopers. Right? And then all of a sudden, Luke Skywalker walks in and he just dispatches them all like they're absolutely nothing. They're just wheat in front of his scythe.
So cool.
It was
the internet went crazy.
It was so cool. It was, and I cried during that scene because I thought, oh, that's so awesome. Because you knew who it was when you saw the green saber pop out. But the more I got to thinking about it, the more I thought, wow, they really just showed you two things. One, they showed you exactly how powerful a Jedi Master really is, and they also showed you how weak Din Djarin is.
Well, those dark troopers were they're like super robots.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
But yeah, after that, it's just like, the series just ran off a cliff, and they changed all their ideas.
I'm glad I didn't see the third season, and I have no idea what kind of key jangling they're going to do to try and get you to see the movie and get us to care. Like, Baby Yoda should have just stayed with Luke. Like, the fact that they brought him in because they were afraid after Gina. He was originally, you could tell, like, the Boba Fett show was really supposed to be more like how the Penguin is on HBO Max. You could tell, like, that was the tone they were going for, and then that completely changed somehow.
Yeah, well, because he ended up being basically overruled by everybody around him, and even though he was the one that was supposed to be in charge, he never really delegated, he never really gave any orders. That, and he got the shit beat out of him by a cybernetically enhanced Wookiee, so he should have been dead. I mean, that guy punched him in the face with his electrical metal knuckles, and he's a cybernetically enhanced Wookiee. You can't withstand getting punched in the face by that.
Oh, but damage means nothing in Star Wars anymore. They've completely ruined lightsabers with all the people that have survived lightsaber cuts.
Yeah, it's like, your average thug on the street has a lightsaber now to hold, to try to steal your credits. So
Sabine fucking died at the beginning of Ahsoka season 1. There's it's like, everyone shrugs off lightsaber wounds now. They're nothing.
Yeah. It's like, oh no, it's an inconvenience because, we have back to tanks and stuff. So.
Okay. Quick medical attention. Sure. But it's just too many characters have and it's in too short a time have just been surviving. Make lightsabers deadly again.
Really?
I miss Dooku's head falling off.
Yeah. I mean, this is a kinder, gentler Star Wars. I say this, and then of course, the Acolyte came out, and the dude was wiping the floor with Jedi like they were nothing.
It's a lot of inconsistencies all around. They don't know what the fuck to do with this franchise.
No, they don't.
To take. There's no consistency.
Oh no. People were already trying to say, ooh, the Acolyte's coming back. And I'm just like, no, it's not. They're releasing an art book. It's not the series coming back.
Then, oh man, it's amazing that show even has fans.
It does. I'm just kind of wondering who they are.
They're they're the shills that, they supported what the Acolyte was supposed to be, which was supposed to be their Star Wars, their version, the safe Star Wars.
It was supposed to. It was supposed to be the Star Wars for LGBTQ people who felt persecuted, because apparently that's what it was.
The social justice. It's DEI Star Wars. Let's just face it. Which is so funny because Lucas was so progressive with the prequels and and the later movies, and yet Disney tried to make it look like they invented women.
Yeah. And then they put them in everything, at the forefront of everything.
And that really minimizes characters like Ahsoka and Padme and even Leia. Oh,
Mhm.
and they tried to ruin Leia also. Like, oh, she's going to
Oh
be a
God.
general now instead of a princess. You realize a princess has higher authority than a fucking general.
Yeah, not only that, but the Admiral Holdo was just that was a
Hey, I
terrible
had an
character.
entire. Let me see if I can find it. I did an entire post. I'm going to show you this.
Okay.
I got a lot of hate for this.
Okay.
Um. Oh, here we go. So okay, here we go. It's Shilling Film right
Mhm.
here. Okay, share. Oh, yeah, I'm going to do. You know how Ethan Van Sciver did his old like soy face voice? I'm going to do like my version
Okay.
right now. Let's see. Share. Shoot, I'm messing up right now. I'm messing up.
You're all right. You're all right.
Okay, share
Just
image.
breathe. It's all right.
Okay. Admiral Akbar will return in Ahsoka Season 2. He'll be going head to head with Thrawn.
Oh my God, man. They fucked Thrawn up so bad.
And I said killed off screen so Admiral Gender Studies could lecture us about toxic masculine flyboys.
Oh.
I got so much fucking hate.
I mean,
No, like just
yeah.
for pointing out the obvious of how Akbar was treated.
Uh-huh. That was some bullshit how they got rid of Akbar. But
No
they
respect. But hey, they got a key jangle for Ahsoka because apparently Hayden Christensen coming back isn't enough.
well, I mean, all the books I read, I mean, Thrawn was somebody I actually cared about because I read the books and I read about Grand Admiral Thrawn and how he was so special and different from all of the other Imperials. Because for one thing, he wore a white suit instead of a black suit. He was an alien, which was something that was really unusual in the Empire because the Empire was kind of a humans only club.
Yeah.
So for him to be able to rise to that level spoke of how hard he worked and what they thought of him. And then his ability to create tactics based on studying the art and sculptures of a particular culture and figuring out how they think from looking at it. The guy was supposed to be almost a Hannibal Lecter level genius. The only problem is he was written by people who are mental midgets who don't have any experience in, playing Stratego, much less, trying to plan out a intergalactic army.
Here's some of the hate. I was called conservative reactionaries every time they see a woman with pink hair. Failed VTuber dumbass sharing his delusional takes as usual. You're living failure, lol. Failure is when you're partnered and getting paid by YouTube. And then he pulls up my video catalog. Yeah. These are some pretty good hits. I don't know what they're saying.
I mean, I guess that's your old VTuber thing there with the red and
Oh no, that's the
Fire Emblem.
That's the the last Fire Emblem protagonist. I ripped the shit out of that game. They actually based that character off a VTuber. They actually had a VTuber modelist as a character designer, so you're not far off.
I know they had a controversy with one of the voice actors on Fire Emblem. They got rid of him real quick, and then they tried to delete all his lines and everything.
Oh yeah, that was on Three Houses. It was because he was leaking stuff about his Smash Brothers. Either that or like he had some mental health issues and trouble with his girlfriend, bad mouthing him online. So yeah, like Christopher Noyce is who you're talking about. He was the original voice actor for Byleth that they patched out. It's debatable whether or not he was like legit canceled or if he just broke a non-disclosure agreement. But yeah, like he's still in other things. Like apparently he's got a voice role in Boruto or something.
Well, Admiral Akbar going head to head with Thrawn after seeing Thrawn's performance in Ahsoka season 1 is going to be like, yeah, you're not really setting that bar very high, are you?
Well, I mean, it's just like too little, too late. Like, if you want to like pay respect to Admiral Akbar, why not like pay respect to him in the fucking sequel trilogy? You jangled him for The Force Awakens, and then you just murder him like off screen. They thought fans hated. Akbar was not Jar Jar Binks.
No.
He had one meme line, and it was a funny meme line.
It's a great one.
But he was a good character regardless of the meme.
Yeah, he was. He was a great character. I mean, he was only in one film, and he wasn't in it that much, but he managed to make an impression. Yeah, he stood out. He made an impression. So more than Mon Mothma, I might add.
Oh yeah, like people barely remember Mon Mothma.
I could barely ever remember her name, but I remember Admiral Akbar. And yet Mon Mothma got, all this praise and everything else. And what was it, Ahsoka? That's when she came back?
No, I think she came back in for Rogue One and then in Andor.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, they got the actress that was supposed to play her in the Revenge of the Sith deleted scenes. So they actually got like someone who was cut from Revenge of the Sith to reprise her role.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, but I did not watch Andor season 1. I know they put it up on YouTube for 3, and that it's supposedly good, but I'm not sure how I feel about them, like with the kind of like breaking a kind of a rule here with this whole sexual assault thing. I don't think you need to like really add that in to make the Empire be evil. Like they do enough evil stuff already.
I mean, I guess so. Although most of the time it seems like they're like Keystone Cops with their ridiculousness.
Yeah, true.
I mean, the Death Troopers that they brought in for the end of Ahsoka was like, why did you do that? I'll tell you what. There's a little story behind that. This is the biggest disappointment I've ever had in my entire life. But I am a really big zombie fan. Like, I have some shitty zombie movies, like some actual Z-grade shitty zombie films that I enjoy. And of course, I watch The Walking Dead, World War Z, all the zombie shows, all that stuff. I still like them. I still watch them because that's just my thing. I like zombies. I think it's a cool, concept, whatever you want to call it, horror,
Yeah, I actually forgot about the Death Troopers in Ahsoka. I forgot about that.
Oh
my god! That was not as good as it could have been.
No, and so my best friend, who is no longer with us because the unknown virus from China killed him. But yeah. We saw the Death Troopers book in our store one day. He bought that for me as a Christmas present, knowing how much I like zombies and how much we were both kind of enjoying Star Wars. And I eagerly tore into that book and I started reading it and I started enjoying it. And I'm like, oh, I'm getting into this. This is getting pretty good. And then they brought in Han Solo and Chewbacca. And I put the book down and I've never touched it since. And I'll tell you why. Because at that point, I knew the story was bullshit. I realized it doesn't matter how this story goes. All these characters that you have, that they have taken all this time to explain and detail and try to make you fall in love with and get interested in, and all this backstory doesn't mean shit. Because now they're all disposable. They may all die at the end of the book, but you absolutely know Han Solo and Chewbacca will survive all the way to the end of the book. Why? Because they've already set the book chronologically ahead of Star Wars. So they're gonna survive. There's no mystery to this book anymore. There's no reason to read it.
No, wait, didn't Chewbacca die in the expanded universe? I
Not
think
to my
our
knowledge.
caster's right.
Chewbacca did not become a zombie in that book. He couldn't have, because that story predates Star Wars: A New Hope.
Yeah,
So,
true.
what I'm saying is, like, Han Solo and Chewbacca had to be in New Hope. So if they died or were zombified or whatever like that in Death Troopers, it didn't matter because they obviously got switched back or cured or whatever. In other words, nothing that happened to them in that book could permanently affect them for their appearance in the movie.
Yeah, true. They had plot armor.
Yeah, they had plot armor, and I was just like, there's no point reading this anymore. And it was the biggest disappointment of any Star Wars book I've ever read.
Oh, I'm sorry you didn't like Death Trooper. I know, like, a lot of people like that book.
I guess I was expecting more, but I was not expecting them to use a canon character in it.
Well, that's kind of like the problem of prequels, and it's one of the things I think the Plinkett reviews touch upon. Like, is that when you do prequels, you know, like, certain characters that were in the original are going to be safe. You kind of already know what happens to them, so you have to, like, do other things or have characters you don't know if they're going to be around. Like, I think it was pretty obvious that Padme was going to die at some point.
Yeah.
And that, like, the Jedi are going to be, but you didn't know when it was going to happen. And that's why the whole Palpatine's office scene with and Windu's death scene work. Because like, it is, like, shocking, and it is a big, like, turning moment in the film.
Rogue One was great and it worked. I mean, even though we kind of knew from the very beginnings, like, all these characters are going to die or they're going to become irrelevant somehow as it pertains to Star Wars: A New Hope. But they still had some really great characters. I forget what Donnie Yen's character was named. I'm always forgetting it.
Yeah,
but he was really cool.
The name isn't, like, too important, but yeah, like,
we know who he is.
Like, even, like, some of the, like, characters that, like, didn't really get a lot of screen time, like Mohammed Best's character, like the TIE fighter pilot, he was pretty good. Like, I remember him. Like, even if I don't remember his character's name, like, some of them could have been fleshed out a little bit more, but structurally, Rogue One was the best movie.
Yeah.
And supposedly it was, like, really, like, cut from the version Gareth Edwards wanted. I still would like to see, like, the original version of Rogue One.
Yeah. But the thing is, I didn't like Andor in Rogue One. I thought he was a huge dick. I hated him. I couldn't wait till he died.
Dragons guy? He killed Chewbacca?
R.A. Salvatore got to kill Chewbacca? Really? So yeah, whenever well, yeah, I hated Andor in that movie. So it was kind of like, he's a dick. I don't want to watch a show about him because he's a dick.
Yeah, like,
everybody's like, well, but that's the best one.
Oh, you gotta watch Andor. Andor's so good. Andor's so mature.
It's so good. We even have aping in Andor. So
you've just, like, I was curious about Andor. The fact that they went all Game of Thrones and shit just really turned, like really, like, you don't need to, like, this is the problem with some writers. Like, you don't need to, like, have that in order to be good. Like, Star Wars has a tone. You should stick with it. You can play around with it or do good, but you don't need to, like, split the age gap so drastically with Star Wars.
Well, here's the thing.
I said, like, they did it fine in Attack of the Clones because it's implied.
Most of the writers you got working on stuff today don't know what good writing is, or you have studio executives who are poking into it and getting involved, and they're saying things like, yeah, well, when you write this story, take a look at that Game of Thrones show. See what kind of numbers that thing did. what we need to do is we need to put some Game of Thrones in this Star Wars show, and that'll make some big banging numbers. So I want a lot of people getting introduced and getting killed, because that's what was big in Game of Thrones.
Grape. We need
Yeah.
a grape scene.
We need a scene where somebody gets graped. If we can have Pedro Pascal show up and get his eyes poked out, that would be even better. See if he's still on contract. Yeah, and can we somehow put a dragon in there? Maybe just a little one.
Oh man.
I mean,
Oh man.
they don't know. That's their thing, man. This is what I keep saying, is like, every once in a while something amazing will pop out of Hollywood and you'll be like, whoa, this was so cool. And then everything in Hollywood takes a look at it and says, what made that great? We don't know. Okay, well, let's try to imitate it. Let's try to do the same thing they did and follow that same formula and see if we can't make the same greatness. And of course it fails. You know? I mean,
hang on one second. I'm
Sure.
trying to find something.
I mean, you know, a lot of people, I will not say that Asylum Video is great movies. They're not. They're schlock. They're low budget. They're schlock, but they're fun. And they steal unabashedly from more successful films, and they don't care. And they're not trying to win Oscars or anything like that. They're just out there to make a few bucks and a fun little movie that you can watch, you know, drink some beverages of your choice, maybe hang out with people that you enjoy. If you're lucky, you put an Asylum film on while you got your significant other in there, and then you just completely tune the movie out while you get to, you know, grope her in the dark, you know.
Disney's saying, look, the Rebels are no better than the Empire. You know what? I'm actually kind of okay with that, because I've always found the Rebels to be kind of a boring faction anyway. I know it was the main cast. It was Han, Luke, and Leia that were interesting. The Rebels were very boring.
Yeah, I have to agree.
And
I mean,
Sinners is good. I have heard that. I'm going to go see it this Friday with my cousin. I actually do hear it is actually legit good. Like, not just like the media hype.
Mm-hmm. And see, this is what made the prequel movie so bad. The fact is, J.J. Abrams went into the first prequel movie and he was like, I'm going to take everything that they did in Star Wars and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to hype it up to 11. Instead of a Death Star, we're going to have a Death Planet. Instead of shooting one beam, it's going to shoot enough beams to destroy an entire solar system's worth of planets.
And they put so much focus on the Resistance, which is just rebranded Rebels. And like, it just highlighted just how boring the Rebel faction is. Well,
not only that, but, you know, you brought in the First Order, which is basically, oh, look, it's the Imperials under a different brand.
Yeah, it was so lame. Like, the thing is, like, JJ snorted all the prequel hate so much that he just thought if he just mimicked the skeleton of the original trilogy and the aesthetics, that would be enough to sate everyone. And for a time, it did. It did. Like, people ate that shit up. But then, like, Last Jedi kind of like opened people's eyes and saying, like, oh my God, we actually need to plan a story. We actually need structure and characters. Like, you can't just make, like, things have to actually matter.
Yeah, Last Jedi almost tried to ape Empire Strikes Back, just because it was kind of like, oh, well, what made Empire Strikes Back good? Oh, look, everybody got tortured, people got killed, you were really worried about everybody. So I'm kind of like, so how does that equate to destroying the Rebel fleet almost entirely, you know, getting, you know, making your heroes look bad, and all this other stuff? I mean,
Yoda destroying the sacred Jedi texts.
Yeah.
Something Yoda would never fucking do.
No. And that's the sad thing, too, is the fact that, you know, Abrams left it wide open to be a better sequel. And then you had, you know, Bowling Ball Head come along and just look at, I'm going to make everybody, you know, just... my girlfriend, my trans girlfriend, and I went to the theater. We watched it. And we walked out in dead silence. And then we got to the car, and I'm just like, what did we just watch? Because, I mean, we were neither one of us could really express exactly how that film made us feel.
Yeah, it took me a couple days to really completely register myself. At first, because I didn't like Force Awakens, I
Mhm.
thought like, yeah, like great, he totally shat on JJ's thing. But then I realized this story really has nowhere to go now.
Uh-huh. That was kind of my realization too. I was kind of like, the Rebel fleet has been decimated. The sacred Jedi texts are gone.
Snoke is
Uh,
dead.
Yeah, Snoke is dead. What are they going to do for part 3? You know,
Even
and you still
JJ
had,
couldn't figure it out. He had to like resurrect Palpatine in order to gain interest, which
and
was
that was
completely botched.
that was the dumbest goddamn movie I've ever seen in my. It was nothing more than one fetch quest after another, and extremely improbable happenings. And I mean,
I almost feel bad for J.J. Abrams for having to make that film.
I do too. Although I'm sure, I wouldn't feel bad if I got one of his paychecks, because
Yeah, well,
I
I
could,
mean, I think I don't really like J.J. Abrams, mostly
no.
because of he's very in on the whole thing. But you were absolutely right. He left the door open for an amazing sequel.
Uh-huh. And
And
there were so many things that were just not answered, like what happened to Luke's lightsaber?
story for another time.
Story for another time. A story that never got answered. Now, I bet you anything, there's some Star Wars executive out there going, we never did answer that story. Why don't we launch a Disney Plus show about
I
it?
think they tried to explain it in the comics that nobody reads.
Oh, yeah, the comic books that nobody reads? Yeah.
The ones that are easily retconned, because the Kanan Jarrus comic introduced a whole new alien species, and then the Bad Batch completely retconned it.
and see, I don't even watch the cartoon stuff because I'm like, that shit's not canonical in my mind.
The thing is, Dave Filoni's ideas were more important than whichever comic book writer wrote the Kanan Jarrus comic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I used to be a big Dave Filoni fan, but I see like he's done more than just tried to survive his tenure at Lucasfilm. He's become kind of like a Darth Vader a little bit.
Yeah, he really kind of has. He's become the thing that everyone hates.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, there's this clip that I should have played when we were talking about Nintendo. A little old commercial I dug up.
Ooh.
Greed is good.
Greed makes you do great things.
Greed makes you do great things.
Greed loves old people.
Greed loves old people.
Gold coins and love.
Gold coins and puppies.
It will get you everything.
It'll get you everything.
Even if you have to pile drive your enemy to do
Even
so.
if you have to pile drive your enemies to do so.
Get ready for some real greed. Rated E for everyone.
GameCube. I still have mine somewhere in the closet because the only reason I bought a GameCube, and literally the only games I own on GameCube, are Resident Evil Remake and Resident Evil 0, and that's it.
Yeah, like they have almost the entire Resident Evil series on the GameCube. I know because a friend of mine lent me to them in college, and I played them on the Wii.
Yeah, well, I mean, now I can play them all on my PC, but
yeah.
Oh my gosh. By the way, they're doing yet another Resident Evil remake before they release Resident Evil 9.
I'm sick of the Resident Evil remakes. I thought 2 remake was good, and after that, I'm done. And now they're feeling like almost like the Disney remakes, where they just try and remove everything problematic from the original. And so that's why I'm dreading Code Veronica, because I actually did stream it. There's like a lot, not even just the whole cross-dressing thing, which was just a Psycho homage, but there is actually a scene where that Steve kid tries to he tries to unconsensually get with Claire while she's
Yeah.
sleeping on the airplane.
Yep. Oh well. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but I liked RE2 remake. It was great. And then 3 was like, you guys dropped the ball, and you dropped it so hard, even your mom felt how hard you dropped that ball.
The word of mouth about 3 remake made me not want to get it. And then
Don't.
4 remake, I just feel like the whole thing was blasphemy because Resident
No.
Evil 4 is so fucking perfect.
No. No. Reconsider. 4 is great. Remake 4 is great. And I was skeptical too, but I bought it on the super cheap and tried it. And it is so good. And like the first time I went through it, I kept scratching my head going, wait a minute though, wasn't there supposed to be this? Or wasn't there supposed to be this? Or how come they left this out? And then they dropped the DLC for the Ada Wong missions. And it added a whole new set of storylines and objectives and bosses and everything. And I'm kind of like, oh my God, all the shit that they cut out in the first part with Leon, they put it back in with Ada. So everything that you got to experience in one playthrough with Leon in the old game, you now get the pleasure of doing it in 2 different parts with 2 different characters who use completely different weapon sets and have to take completely different paths from each other.
Yeah, would you say Remake's Separate Ways campaign is better than the one that was tacked on to Resident Evil 4 original?
Well, okay, I did not play the tacked on campaign to Resident Evil 4, so I can't say, but I really enjoyed Separate Ways because it was extremely refreshing.
Okay, so so Separate Ways was that was the tacked on campaign. It was called Separate Ways in the original, and that used to be part of the full game.
Oh, okay.
They gave it to you as DLC. So it's not like a new storyline. Like it just showed what Ada was doing while Leon was doing it, and it shows her like messing with the church bell. I didn't really get far in that because, like, I don't know. I was borrowed the game, so I gave it back to a friend afterwards, just because like I had already beaten it.
Well, I didn't get that DLC for Resident Evil 4 because I was a PS2 owner, which is what it came out on, and yeah, we didn't have DLC.
Wait. Oh, I get it. Maybe they wait, no, it is on the PS2 version.
Is it?
You probably just didn't unlock it.
I guess I didn't unlock it. Maybe I didn't play hard. I don't know. I played it several times on PS2, but
it should be available once you beat the game. It's like an end game like bonus. Weird.
Well, I didn't get to play that one on the original, but I did play it on the remake, and it is very good on the remake. I just honestly can't say enough good stuff about the remake. The remake is absolutely worth it.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
You should
consider and get it on sale, but I do want to play the OG Resident Evil 4 at least once before doing that again.
Do it.
Just because I do think it is such a great game.
And yes, I will agree with yeah, I will also agree with Philip too that OG Ada is a way better character and voice actor than remake Ada. Yeah, remake Ada's voice, her voice actress is, I don't know, she sounded like she was high and half asleep when she was giving her delivery. So,
yeah.
The other one you need to try, and you can probably pick it up super duper cheap, is the Dead Space remake.
Really?
Yeah. And I played the original. I mean, I like the original a lot, but the remake is really good.
Well, I just picked up Dead Space 3, and I'm going to go through it with a friend at some point.
I never did play 3. I played 2, but everybody said don't get 3. So,
well, I heard 3 just killed the series, but I'm very curious to see just how it continues. I know they tacked on a lot of bullshit to 3 with co-op and trendy stuff, making it more actiony. but I am curious just for more of the lore.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's fair. The biggest disappointment I remember from that year, or I should say not too long ago, was, oh man, Callisto Protocol. Oh man.
I was enjoying the game, but like everyone's negative opinions about it kind of killed my hype about it. That, and I had a potato PC running it, so it wasn't really running so good.
Well, I mean, my PC's old and it barely managed to run it, but it did run it, and it ran it competently to where I could actually play through the game at a decent frame rate and enjoy it. But
the combat was weird. I think that's really what killed the game for a lot of people. Was the
you mean
combat.
it wasn't the copy pasted boss fight that was done 5 times?
There's a copy pasted boss fight that's done 5 times. I guess I didn't even get that far.
Yeah, there's a boss fight you have with like a 2-headed monster, and they copy pasted it 5 times.
Okay, I hate when games do that. I hated when Sonic Forces did that with the Infinite boss fight and like the Metal Sonic fight, which are basically just the same exact fight.
And here's the kicker. That is the only boss fight in Callisto Protocol.
Really? You don't get to fight Zombie Troy Baker?
No, you do get a final boss that is ridiculous until you figure out how to beat him, and then it becomes like almost trivial. But it just takes forever to do it. I watched Fat Steven Seagal try to play through it, and he gave up on it. But I was kind of patting myself on the back. So I'm like, I already beat it, though, Steven. But
okay, maybe I saved myself disappointment by listening to everyone's negative feedback. Because I know I was mad at Sphere Hunter for like dissing the game, and then like going like all in on the Dead Space like remake.
No,
I mean, like.
Yeah,
I don't know. I was rooting for Callisto. Because like I think Visceral was done so fucking dirty by EA.
Yeah, I mean Callisto, I bought it for like $80 or $90 when it came out because I got the full version.
You can get it for like pennies now because it did so badly.
Yeah, I know. Don't I feel dumb?
No,
but
okay.
I've got all that.
I got it at full price too.
Yeah. And yeah, the funny thing is I skipped on Dead Space 2 or on Dead Space Remake because I thought, it's just more of the same shit. So it was months and months later when Dead Space Remake was like, I think like $12 or $19 or something like that on a Steam sale, and I downloaded it, and I'm like, oh my god, this game is so good. Why was I sleeping on this one? And instead, I got that piece of shit Callisto Protocol. I mean, okay, the biggest thing that really disappointed me about Callisto Protocol is they show you all the environmental kills, right?
Yeah.
But the problem is the little power glove thingy that you have that lets you do all the environmental kills runs out of juice so fast that you almost never get a chance to use them. And then on top of that, the areas where you can use environmental kills are so few and so far between that you just won't get much chance to use them. Even if you did have a fully powered up power glove. The other part of it is they never give you enough money to upgrade all your weapons. There's just so many problems with Callisto that just made me angry. Now I've heard that since that very first version, they've gone back and they've done more to it. And they've beefed it up a little bit and made it better. And I'm lost on it at this point. I'm like, you copy pasted 5 boss fights that were the exact same boss fight. And their method for dodging attacks was just kind of like, move the stick, move it left, move it right, and you dodge. It doesn't matter if you have to dodge in a particular direction, just move it left, move it right, and you'll dodge the attack.
Using the stick for melee attacks was a very odd choice.
Yeah. It was, I don't know what happened at that game studio. I don't know why the game came out the way it did. All I remember is, the guy who was behind it all was like, "Oh, I'm the original Dead Space developer, and that game was almost too scary to be released," and blah 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 blah. Now we've got Callisto Protocol, and it's all my baby, and it'll be fantastic. And I'm just like, you were blowing smoke up my ass this entire time, weren't you?
No, me, I ate that marketing shit up too, but I was still rooting for the game just because, like, fuck EA. But
I wanted it to be awesome. I wanted it to be great. I wanted to have so much fun with it. I mean, when I first showed trailers of it on my channel, I literally squicked out 2 of our panelists. So, because they'd never seen that much violence done in a video game.
Oh, wow.
So I was kind of like, yeah, this is going to be good. So, yeah, you can imagine how let down I felt about that.
It happens. I hate when you look for a game and you bet on it being good and it just doesn't live up to your expectations. Or it ends up just being complete shit.
Yep.
Very disappointing.
Extremely. But, the cool thing is now that everybody has exposed, quadruple and AAA gaming studios for the shit that they are, and shown you that there are better indie games out there, there's a whole world of cheaper, better indie games that are made with a whole lot more love than any of that mass-produced crap from the big studios.
That's why I love the indie scene, and I love, like, the Japanese gaming, because they really put a lot of these, like, broken stuff to shame, like, and especially like the file compression. Like, I understand, like, they're using a lot of 4K textures with the Oblivion remake, but like there's no way the file size should be that big.
120 gigabytes? Yeah. I mean,
how many 4K textures did they put in there?
I will tell you a game that has come from behind and it's actually really fun. And I'm saying this as somebody who only has a few hours into. Actually, I don't think I have an hour into it yet. Let me check my actual time on this. 117 minutes is my total playing time on this game right now because I haven't had a lot of time lately. But I already love it. It's already a lot of fun. It is called Schedule 1.
Oh yeah, I've heard everyone's been talking about Schedule 1. It's a crime sim.
Basically, yeah. I mean, you grow weed. You're growing a weed empire, and it's got lots of little mechanics in it that are really fun. It is, some parts of it are kind of annoying, like the town you're in has a curfew, so you have to be indoors before a certain time, otherwise the cops will come hunt you down. But it's fun. It is a little bit it's kind of endearingly clunky because your physical object manipulation in it requires you to hold down a button and then physically move whatever object it is you want to move around, and then hit A or D to turn it over and stuff like that, and that can get a little bit annoying after a while, but it's just a lot of fun, and it's not a really expensive game. It's a cheap little game, and it's just fun.
Yeah, it's really good. We've gotten a little bit over.
Well, we're having fun.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
No. Yeah, I'm completely fine. I just wanted to know you were okay.
Well, I mean, my voice is starting to go a little bit, and it's almost 9:00 here, so I do need to shut down here pretty soon, I think.
Yeah. So like we can talk for like 10 more minutes, I guess.
Okay. What'd you want to hit?
I don't know, like, but yeah, like you do have a point, like, like there is a lot of choices that, like, you don't have to get like the latest Ubi slop, in order to have a good time. Like, people make such a big deal, like the state of gaming is
Oh.
so bad, but there really are tons and tons of options.
Okay, and I'm going to give you another one. And this hasn't been released yet, but you can get the demo. I highly recommend you grab the demo, give it a try, tell me what you think. It's called Scarlet Lake.
Scarlet Lake, I like that title.
If it
Scarlet
does
Lake?
not, it has Resident Evil 1, like old PS Resident Evil 1 vibes that hit so hard. Because, I mean, it's got the same inventory management shenanigans.
There's a lot of Resident Evil clones coming out. I know I have a
Mhm.
friend who's like, he buys up every Resident Evil like he can get.
Mhm.
This one does look interesting.
Yeah, it is. It's better than you think, and it will tickle a lot of your old school Resident Evil vibes.
All right, I added it to wish list.
Yep, and it's not. I mean, and like I said, it's just they only have the demo right now, but totally should get it. Were you a fan of Balatro,
Balatra, never heard of it.
the card
Oh,
game?
Baltro. Oh, Baltro. Yeah, I've heard of it. I never looked into the gameplay. But I noticed it got a lot of nominations.
It got a lot of hype, and I blame Ironcaster for getting me into it. But it was super duper fun, or it is super duper fun, and it's poker. But there's another game that is so close to Balatro. It's got to be. I mean, like it's if it's not a spiritual successor, it's its closest cousin. It's called Dungeons and Degenerate Gamblers.
Dungeons and That sounds like a porn game.
It does, but it's not. It's a blackjack game.
It comes up $14.
Yeah. See, and none of these games are real horribly expensive. You know, why would you pay $60 for a bunch of crap? I mean, granted, I do want to see Oblivion remastered, but $60 I can buy 4, possibly 5 indie titles that will keep me much more engaged for almost as long of a time, if not longer.
Hey, have you heard of Captain Blood?
I have heard of Captain Blood.
Yeah, I requested a key for that game. I'm hoping I get it. If I don't, I'm picking that up. 12 days it comes out now.
And the demo is already out.
Oh, is it now?
Uh-huh.
Did you play it?
Not yet. I think I should.
I'll probably wait for the full release. But yeah, really hyped for the game. It's like a time capsule. Yeah,
it's very arcadey. It kind of reminds me of the time when the PS3 was just shitting out action games.
No,
kind of like
this. Yeah,
kind of like at the beginning of its life. Yeah.
Well, that's actually when the game was actually made. This was an unreleased game that's just been sitting in limbo from around that time.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
the game was finished. It never got released. Someone bought the rights to it, and they remastered it, and now they're putting it out for the first time.
Wow. Because I remember when PS3 came out, is like it had a ton of action games.
Yeah, so this looks like it's going to be like a God of War like game with pirates.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Echoes of the Living. That's another one. That's one I need to get. And there's another one beyond that. Damn if I can remember what it is, but it's a Chinese game. And you play a chick going through like a hospital, and you get covered with gore and stuff, and you have to wash it off. I know I can find it. Hang on a minute. Give me just a minute. Occupy yourself for a moment. I will find it.
Yeah, I'm just looking at. I'm just browsing Steam.
Yeah, because one of the game streamers I do follow is G Man Lives, and he's pretty cool. The Killing Antidote.
The Killing Antidote. Okay.
Yes, yes, you play a hot chick who can change her outfits, get splattered with blood and gore, and go shower it off, and you fight all kinds of zombies with survival horror mechanics in a hospital, and it's very, very Resident Evil-ish, but it's closer to like 4, I guess.
You ever play Slitherhead?
I heard Splitterhead was fun.
Yeah, a lot of body hopping and
Uh-huh.
stuff. I played it a little bit, because definitely not a game you can stream on YouTube.
No. That's the problem. A lot of the really fun games I have is like, you can't stream this on YouTube. You'll get copyright. You'll get taken down. But
Yeah, like a lot of there's so many of like the naughty like adult only games that I want to play that I can't stream it even on Kick because they're pornographic in nature. Only
Yeah.
game like Kick's rules on nudity is that only if like porn isn't the focus of the game, I guess. So like The Witcher 2 sex scenes, like
Yeah.
basically anything like that. So if it's like your cyberpunks or anything like that just happens to have some boobies, then it's okay. But if it's like your anime like a hentai game, like you can't do it.
the sad thing is, I have quite a few adult games that are pretty much.
This is a safe channel. This is a safe channel. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Like I've branded myself a degenerate.
Okay, well there you go. Yeah, I've got quite a few of those because I have I'm single. Okay, it's my money. I might as well go pick up a few
Hey,
a
it's a
game that
shame.
has some stuff that I want to see in it. But most of them don't really have much of a story, so it's kind of rare to find a good one that does.
Oh yeah, it is hard. Like there is a lot of shovelware like smut on Steam that you have to like really dig through. But occasionally there are like really good like porn games. Like now this one was a little too hardcore for me, but there's a Japanese game called Monster Girl Quest. I'm not sure. If apparently
I have
it's
one
got
with
a
Monster
very
Girls.
it's got apparently got a very big story that takes the course over 3 games, but it also has a lot of characters that I wouldn't bite on, like these this vampire that looks like a 5-year-old.
Ew, no.
Yeah. No, disgusting. Yeah.
Well, one that is kind of worth checking out is a Brazilian game, but it's done up in JRPG style. It's called Eden Crest.
Eden Crest. I'll look that up.
Yeah, it's it's better than you would think. It's a lot of fun. It follows a lot of the old JRPG vibes. That one was surprisingly good, and I think they made it using RPG Maker and some some original artwork and stuff. But it's not bad at all.
My favorite like dirty game is Orc Massage. If you've ever played it.
I've seen it. I never played it.
It's great. They got a lot of great girls.
Subverse was kind of fun too.
Yeah,
I haven't played the latest. Yeah, I haven't played the latest iteration of it. I need to, just because I need to get back to playing it again, because I really like the idea of it. But the very first version I downloaded was really making my machine go, we're dying of heat here. So I'm hoping they've optimized it since then.
All right. So I'm going to end the show right now. But T-Shirt, thank you so much for coming and talking about the Switch 2 with me.
Sure.
Yeah, I had a great time. This was a great episode. And
Of course.
you're welcome back anytime.
All right, man. And you always have an open door on my channel. So, anytime you want to pop in, just do it.
Yeah, it's just really hard with Levistro's show because I'm a full panelist on his new show.
Mm-hmm.
but I will try and get to yours like sometimes.
Okay. Well, no problem. I don't remember what we're doing this Saturday, but we'll always be doing something.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be something. But anyway, yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you for putting the link, Michael. Thank you Philip. So thank you for on top of it. I'm sorry, I'm mixing my followers up.
How dare you?
Yeah. Oh, Michael was here earlier.
Yeah, he was. He's been here since the beginning, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, he might still be watching. But yeah, thank you so much. Please remember to like and subscribe. Give me Oblivion. And I'll see you next time.
Give me one
Hashtag
too.
Out.